All right, guys. So we are back once again. I am Brett FX, joined here by the amazing Dalton. And this is looking up to be an amazing match here. I am so stoked for it. That is for sure. And Dalton, it's good to be back on the mic, man. We saw you at the very beginning, and it's been a while since we cast together.
Yeah, it's definitely good to be back. I've had a busy summer. A lot of weekends were filled in by IRL stuff, but I'm really happy to be back and finally be casting again.
And hopefully he doesn't, go all Thanos on us and pixelate out of the existence. So we'll have him here hopefully for the entire match. But anyways, we got an exciting day here ahead of us. This is actually going to be close to the end of the BCL Summer Cup. We are here in the losers bracket match. This is going to be Nafu versus Legacy. And let's go ahead and take a look at the brackets so far that have brought us here to this particular place. Let's take a look here at our upper bracket, which as you can see there, a lot of teams here have fallen and some pretty interesting matches along the way as well. And, Dalton, what were some of your kind of favorite matches that we've had here so far?
For me, it had to be last week. Imagine versus Nafu was definitely one of my favorites.
It was good.
The way Imagine played Rogue and the way Nafu played it as well was just magnificent. Was really nice to see.
It absolutely was. And of course, let's go ahead and take a look at our lower bracket as well, because we have seen some absolute just amazing games coming out of there. One of my favorites, though, was definitely the ESF and Legacy. And I know that we didn't actually get to see that on this main cast like we are today, but it was definitely a good match nonetheless. A lot of really good back and forths in that one. That was for sure. But as we said before, Nafu versus Legacy going to be going at each other here today. We'll see who is going to be able to return back up into that grand final match where they are going to be Imagine is going to be waiting for this team to go up there and take them down. I think that we're going to have a few interviews here today, done none other than my amazing co-caster Dalton here, as we're going to be talking to a few of those players on each of those teams.
All right. Thank you and welcome to everyone to the interview with Volt, the Nafu interview this week. Hello, welcome, Volt.
Hello, Dalton. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, we're going to jump into the questions. First of all, who are you and where did you come from into HV8?
I mean, it's kind of the basic story, I would say. I was just your typical locker, sweat, try hard infantry, whatever. I was just playing for fun, and until one day, about like a year ago or so, I got a message from Norman, who was like, "Hey, Volt, would you like to play 8v8? We are gathering a team." And I was like, "Sure, but I've never played it before." And it was not a problem for him, which was actually great because I was getting bored of the game and I wanted to try something new. And there was this amazing opportunity that I thought I had to take, and basically here we are. So many months since that Norman's invitation, and this is how I got into 8v8. I got it was a rough start, obviously. As a newbie, imagine not much of guidance. You don't really know what to do, but it grew on me, and I met nice people from all over the world, literally. And I want to say thank you to Norman, actually.
All right. Well, thank you, Norman.
Yeah.
Then I have a bit of a more specific question. You're probably one of the only women in HV8 right now, or in the game even. And what is it like being a woman among all these male players? Is there like anything special about it, or is it just a regular old banter that's going on?
I mean, I would say it's generally your regular old banter. But obviously, as usual, like lots of sexist jokes going here and there, which is, I mean, understandable. I don't hold a grudge against anything. So it's just the reality of kind of male-dominant areas such as computer games, and especially competitive. So would be nice if it got any better at some point. But other than that, I'm being treated like anyone else, to be honest, like any other people.
I think I think it's the thing with most women in esports that they like experience a lot of bullying and shit online. But overall, I think the community is growing and opening up towards all players from ethnicities, and woman, male, doesn't matter what you are, everyone is accepted lately. And then another question: what is your favorite map in the current map pool?
It's actually kind of a tough question because every map has its own specific. I would say Paracel Storm, actually,
Yeah, that's interesting, especially
very.
from an infantry player.
Well,
Would
as
you
I
say?
said, like I grew ever since I started playing 8v8. I actually put a lot of time and effort into learning a completely different aspect of the game, from a very different angle as well. So I grew fond of this different aspect of Battlefield 4. So yeah, and after playing many different maps, multiple times, obviously over the course of a whole year,
Hmm.
I would say that the 4 flag maps, 5 flag map, like Dawnbreaker as well, they are by far my favorite maps. Actually, I really enjoy playing them a lot.
All right, that's very interesting. Like I said, coming from an infantry player, usually we see that from like vehicle players, but not that much from infantries. And then another question: if you could pick one player out of all teams to play with, who would it be and why?
Uh, well, is there any particular reason why I should pick a certain team? Because obviously, I would say Legacy. I would love to play against them more often. Unfortunately, it's not possible because Brazil continent, the time zone's
Hmm.
different, and that saddens me because Brazil is a great region. There's also a lot of fantastic players. There's obviously a language barrier, of course, but other than that, yeah, I would love to see Legacy be more active. Apart from that, it's always enjoyable to play against much stronger teams because you get to learn so much from them.
Hmm.
So obviously, imagine you can they literally force you to actually work on your to do your homework and also work over your mistakes after the
Yep.
scream that you have with them. So that's very. I love when someone pushes me over my boundaries. So thanks to Imagine for sure. So
Yeah.
thanks to any stronger players, stronger teams.
All right, and then we get into the match-related questions. What has to happen today for you guys to win the match?
I would say we just need to be more focused, more calm, and obviously pay more attention to what's going on the map. Because I think our greatest problem so far has been great awareness, game awareness. Lots of micro mistakes, macro mistakes all over the place that just accumulate and create the avalanche effect, and then we lose the
Hmm.
game, we lose the match, and everyone is obviously tilted at this point. So I think we have to stay focused. We have to do our best, put our best game, and be faster with rotations, be faster with responses, and do as little mistakes as possible. Remember what we worked on before,
Yep,
I'd
and I think
say.
you guys showed that last week. I think it was against Imagine that you played, if I remember correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, on Rogue, the second half, even the first half, you were like very strong, and then the second half, you were very dominant. And then, like, at some point, the pressure became too much, and you could see the mistakes coming in, and that eventually led to you guys losing. So
Yeah,
I completely understand where you're coming from there.
Imagine's game, it was, I would say, literally facepalm when I watched over my video and some other people's from the
Hmm.
team as well, and I could see that we actually could win Imagine. I mean, that's
Yep.
no joke. Like, if I played better, like I saw some of my crucial mistakes, and I saw mistakes of other people. They also saw their mistakes. If we didn't make them, we actually had no excuse to make them, in my
Hmm.
opinion. We
Yep.
definitely would have won there.
Yep, definitely. I think so as well. And then how did you prepare for your opponent today as a team?
We actually decided to stop slacking for once. Yeah, obviously, the game
Hmm.
against Imagine, which is why I said it's very important to play against strong teams every now and then. It was like a cold bucket of water. We realized that we actually need to sit down and prepare for every map that is in the pool. Obviously, not so much because we have a lot of very experienced players, like the core of NAFU. They've been playing this game for so many years. It was more about just going over some mistakes, going over some basic strategies and tactics. What you do if A happens, what to do if B
Hmm.
happens, and so things like that. So just a general preparation so that we have this already engraved in our mind what we need to do during the game.
It's definitely a good way to approach it. And then, which maps do you think will be played? Like, what is your guess that will get played tonight?
Um, it's It's hard to guess, to be honest, for me at least. As I said, I'm not that experienced. I know that the Legacy has very strong vehicles. They have people on Scout Heli. They have Thunder, who is finally back to playing the tank. So my guess would be that they definitely will be willing to play any maps where they can utilize the full potential of these two core players. So it could be easily Hainan. It could be easily, actually, even Paracel as well. Siege, or Shanghai. So yeah, it's hard for me to tell. Zavod, I would say also Zavod. They would be aiming. They also have quite decent infantry players, which we obviously need to fear because we're going to be playing on high ping, and people aren't used to playing against Brazilian players. So it's going to be a lot of
Yep,
crying over
indeed.
missed potential here and there. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yep, we'll definitely have to see. And then the last question: who's the favorite of tonight?
It's hard to say that because I think I'm biased, obviously. I think if everyone is prepared for this game and if we have the right mindset today for the game, I think we should be the favorite. The game against Imagine gave us a nice boost, so I hope we can utilize on that and win over Legacy. But if anything, it should be a close game, I believe.
Yep, I'm definitely hoping for it to be a close game, that's for
Yeah.
sure. All right, well, thank you for coming out, Volt, and for doing the interview, and good luck in the games later.
Thank you too.
And then
Have a nice day.
We'll go into the next interview immediately. All right, now we're here with the interview from Legacy, and with me here in the studio I have Thunder Black. Welcome, Thunder.
Thank you.
All right, so we're gonna jump into the questions here. Who is Thunder? Like, where did you come from?
Well, my name is Tanner. I'm main from Legs, one of the founders. I started playing 2K15 with Master Campers, a BR team. I was playing pub and the guy invited me to play a War Access League, a 10v10 league from North American BR. And I enjoy that, so I keep playing, I keep improving. I play for Mercenaries, Urans, Illusion, ESF. Then when the COVID starts, I back to play, and me and people, we talk to make a new team to play during this time, and that's me. Basically a guy who loves to play tank and try to be one of the best.
Yeah, and you definitely are one of the best, I would say.
Thank you.
And with that being said, I saw Lolku tanking this season for Legacy. Is there any reason to why he was tanking and not you?
I mean, Skulls, I was not feeling good. I feeling I'm not doing my best with the team. I feeling I was struggling a little bit, and I was raging a little too much. That is bad for the team, you know. You need to keep calm, keep doing the right things, and that's why Loco was tanking.
All right, I think that's a very smart decision. If you can put yourself on the background for the bigger picture of the team, that's a very good thing to do. And then, what is your favorite map out of the map pool?
I wanna say Hammerhead. I really like to play Hammerhead.
All right,
I think it's a good map for us too.
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of people would agree with you. A casting perspective, it is not as fun, I would say, but for playing it is definitely fun, especially on the middle flags. And then if you could pick one player out of all the teams that are playing to be on your team, who would it be?
Gump, for sure.
Gump? Yeah, I think a lot of teams would agree with you there.
Yeah, like Gump is just a huge game change. He can do whatever. He know whatever from the game. He's just I think, in my opinion, he's the best player in the game right now.
And I think he's been one of the best for a very long time as well. Then some match-related questions. What has to happen today for Legacy to win the match?
If we can follow our game plan and keep calm, keep it the call out good, I think that nothing can stop us today. We just need to follow our game plan and do us that.
All right.
we're very confident about.
Okay, I can tell. And then talking about the game plan, is there anything you did specifically to prepare for NAFU today, or did you just do the regular things you always do?
We just do the regular things. Like we never have like a real thing to different to play against anything. We always do the same. We try to follow our game plan. We try to keep calm. And was that like when have not different for today or any game?
All right. And then which maps do you think will be played today?
I think we wanna play a Shanghai, Hammerhead, a Zavod, maybe a Dawnbreaker. Well, I think three of the three maps like that gonna be good for us.
Yeah, I think both teams, like I did the interview a bit earlier, and Volt had the same opinion about NAFU. So I think we're definitely going to see one of those maps tonight.
I hope so.
And then who's the favorite of tonight? Is it Legacy or NAFU?
NAFU for sure. They are in the winner bracket last week and we lose, so NAFU is in top today.
All right, yeah.
We are like the underdogs.
Yeah, I think it's a very split opinion in the community. It's either NAFU or Legacy, but it's like 50-50, I feel like. We're going to have to wait and see what happens tonight. But thank you for coming out and doing the interview, and good luck later in the game.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate that.
All right, guys, we are back. Awesome stuff to hear from Thunder and Vitoli. Interesting to see their side of what may possibly be coming out here for this match, talking about some of their previous matches as well. But yeah, we are going to be getting on into our map vetoes here in just a few seconds, and should be some really interesting maps. Now, Dalton, what do you think we're going to be seeing coming out here? I mean, like, what as a, the amazing competitive player that you are,
Yes.
what do you think that we're going to be seeing coming out here today?
I think it's hard to say, but I think we might see something infantry oriented rather than specifically vehicles. Although NAFU is very strong on Paracel and Rogue, I would say, whereas Legacy would preferably go for something like Hammerhead, Siege, or Hanen. Yeah,
I could definitely see Legacy going for Hammerhead. That is a they looked really strong in that map, especially in the middle of the map, just with their infantry players. They're extremely aggressive, just really banging it out. So that would be something that I could possibly expect to happen. And a map that I haven't really seen a whole lot this season, it kind of ticks me off a bit, but Dawnbreaker, man, that's like one of my favorite maps. Absolutely love Dawnbreaker. We just haven't really seen a whole lot of it here in this particular cup, at the very least not on cast. So, and I don't really think any of these teams are really going to go for it because we have cast these teams quite a bit, and I think each time it has been banned out. But anyways, let's go ahead and see if we got our first ban that's going to be coming on through. And that should be an interesting one. And it's going to be Rogue Transmission. Now that, my friends, is not breaking my heart too much. Rogue is one of those love-hate relationships anyways for me. It's a very long map, but we have seen some really stellar gameplay on that. I think it was Imagine versus ESF, which had a really good match. You said Nafu, obviously, last week had a really good match on this one as well. We've seen some really good plays on Rogue Transmission. And to see that one going, it is kind of bittersweet. But I think in the long run, it's not going to be hurting too much.
Yeah, definitely. And as you said, the Dawnbreaker, we haven't seen it a lot, and I think a lot of teams fear it, especially if you play against Nafu. Their heli crew is very strong, probably one of the best in the game right now. So I doubt we'll be seeing it tonight. We'll have to see what the next ban will be.
Yeah, that is another thing too, is the chopper crews. Some of these maps, you do have to make sure that you are going to be able to, at the very least, stay toe-to-toe with them up in the sky. Our next ban, which is going to be coming through, and I do not see this being a surprise, is Nafu taking out Hammerhead. As I mentioned before, this map can be absolutely brutal on the inside, which Nafu has shown some really good plays on this map. In fact, I think Nafu has had the closest games on Hammerhead that we have seen so far versus Exo, and I think that was versus, was it ESF, if I'm not mistaken? Anyways, they had some matches that were just absolutely stellar. The one versus Exo actually came down to a 2-ticket game in that first round. But yeah, I think, Dalton, this is a good pick for them, or a ban for them.
Yeah, I think definitely this is a good ban. The infantry lineup of Legacy is very strong. Nafu's lineup is strong as well. But Legacy has the advantage that they are used to playing on higher pings. Compared to Nafu, they are not really used to playing on those high pings. I think that's a very smart ban from Nafu.
Totally agree. And just so that you guys know, on the mention of a server, we are going to be seeing a New York server coming into play. So let's see what our next map is going to be. That is going to be Siege coming out, the first pick for Legacy. So you did mention Legacy was going to go for more of an infantry-oriented map. Now, Siege is an interesting one because Gravity and I were talking about this last week. And while Siege, you definitely say, okay, yeah, this is infantry-oriented, obviously, but this map is so hard sometimes to rotate on it if you don't have the correct timing.
Yeah, definitely. I think Legacy likes this map because of people, because he's just so strong on Siege. I don't think there's a lot of people who can beat him. But then again, we have also seen Nafu show some real dominance with the rotations. So I think this one can go either way. It's going to be a very interesting match to see. So I'm kind of glad they picked it.
So, going on to that Little Bird topic that you were just talking about. So we saw Peepo last week doing some work in the Little Bird itself. Who should we see for Nafu?
Nafu is going to be Hulu.
Hulu. Okay.
He's a fairly new scout heli pilot. He played for like his second or third season now. But he's also very strong. Although he might be a bit rusty lately, I have no idea. But it should be interesting seeing those two battle it out.
If I remember correctly, he's also very aggressive. The Little Birds as well. And that is something that I do like seeing is the aggression coming out on Siege, because I think that the Little Birds, like, it's a tightrope that you have to walk, right? You have to make sure that you're being aggressive enough that you can kind of pin down the other team and cause that damage, but you don't want to be too aggressive to where you actually lose that advantage eventually. So definitely an interesting one there. We'll see if Legacy is going to be able to pull that one out. Next pick is going to be here for Nafu, and that will be on Paracel Storm. This is a map that we have seen very consistently within the season. In fact, I would be interested to see what the stats are on those picks if we could have that for the grand finals, because Paracel seems to be popping up every single time. And Dalton, this is also a map that is extremely important when it comes to your rotations.
Yep, indeed. But I think it's a very good pick from Nafu since they have Neo in the boat. And in my opinion, Neo is probably one of the best, if not the best, boater in the game. That combined with Hulu and the Inf lineup, I think it will be a very, very interesting lineup to see play on Paracel there.
Yeah, that absolutely, because that tag team boat and helicopter combination is absolutely deadly. And we've seen some teams really falter when they tried to kind of go off solo, or they didn't play together right from the start, at the very least, over there towards the north side of the map. So that will be kind of critical on that boat combo, how they actually play it out, but also just your in-game leaders, how, because Legacy has had a tendency in the past to where on Paracel Storm anyways, they really falter on the late game. Like, they look okay it sometimes in the start and the mid game, they start kind of gaining ground, but then when it really comes to closing out those matches, they just absolutely, stumble and fall and just are not able to make it happen. So, that's going to be a tough one there. Good pick, I think, for Nafu. And as you said, Neo is an absolutely stellar boat pilot as well. Boat pilot, boat commander. What do you call that guy?
A boat driver, I would say.
Driver, captain? I don't know.
Captain, yeah.
Anyways, yeah, we'll say captain. He's captain of the boat. Next ban is going to be coming on through here shortly. It is going to be, what is this?
Dawnbreaker.
Dawnbreaker. So yeah, sorry about that, guys. I had my screen covering it up. Dawnbreaker is going to get banned out. That does break my heart. Legacy, you guys are no longer on my Christmas list. There was a chance it was going to be for third map, but no longer. Now, Dawnbreaker, that does make a lot of sense. As you said before, the attack helicopter is absolutely devastating on that map. If you're able to kind of just patrol the skies, own them, and take down your opponent as well. You could do a lot of zoning out with that particular vehicle, and it's just overall just really annoying to deal with.
Yep, it is. So I think it's a very safe and good ban from Legacy to not play on that map. I think they're very strong on Hanen and Zavod, so having those two open is a very smart decision from them.
Yeah, and now I do have a question for you, though. So on Dawnbreaker, which our final ban is going to be on Hainan Resort, and our decider will be on Zavod. But real quick on Dawnbreaker, the rule set on this particular cup is going to be, that there was a tank, no AA.
So
How
there is
does...
an AA and no tank in this cup.
Oh, it is. Oh, it is.
Yep.
Okay, well then never mind. Pass that one off because that's completely wrong. But I'm okay with that. I can be wrong at times. But Highland Resort will be our decider map here, guys, and that is going to be a good one. Another one that is going to rely on your little birds to really do some work. And as you said, Hulu and Peepo both really fantastic little bird pilots. Again, we saw Peepo doing some really good work in the little bird last week on Siege, and looking for him to be able to do it here, possibly in 2 maps, 3 maps actually.
No, the final map will be Zavod. The last one was Hayden. You mixed them up, yeah.
Oh my God! You know what? All right, guys,
It's
I'm retiring. Right. Dalton, you take it over. We are done. Why did I say Heinen? I saw that, and I even said Heinen was our pick and decider Zavod. All right, Peepo, get the hell out of there for map number 3. You are going to be benched once again, and we are going to be seeing the transport chopper up in play. And that's close enough, right? Like we transport in a little bird, like that's kind of the same thing. I mean,
there's 2 miniguns, and definitely.
Yeah, it's good. Don't judge me, guys. Jesus, I've been up since 6 o'clock and working my ass off. So, anyways. This cast is chalked. Let's go ahead and just move on. We're going into our rosters right now, guys. This is going to be Legacy coming on up. As you see there on your screen, Peepo, Thunder, Phasia, Infernus, Lords, Thermal Shadows, and Siren are going to be your players here. Now, Dalton, obviously we talked about Peepo, but who are your players that we really need to be focusing on for this particular series?
I think Thunder will be a very interesting one to see in the tank and LAV. Tank. There's only a tank now. I'm confused as well. And another one is probably going to be, I think, Lordsy. I think Lordsy is a very good infantry player, and it will be fun seeing him, seeing what he can do.
Yeah, we saw some really good play from him earlier, and definitely looking forward to what he's going to be able to pull off here today. Nafu is our next roster. Neo, Potato, Westshed, Hulu, Legco, Volt, Master. Why do I always mess it up? Masterusi, I think, is what his in-game name is, and Don Polo. I do want to say though, I absolutely love Don Polo. I don't know why, but I love saying that name during the cast. So Don, make sure that you have some absolutely stellar moments here, because I want to be able to hype you up here in this game. But in this particular roster here, who should we be watching out for, Dalton?
I'm gonna say Neo. Definitely. I'm gonna have a blast seeing him play in the boat, but also his infantry, the stuff that he can pull off is just, I'm gonna be honest, it's on another level. Like compared to other players, he just outplays, and sometimes he can just clutch something that others don't. So it's always a pleasure seeing him play.
All right, well, that is going to be our rosters here for tonight, and we're going to go ahead into our map overview, which is going to be on Siege of Shanghai, getting this thing started. Now, this is the one of the just OG classic maps. We talked about it a little bit earlier. If you guys are not familiar with it, we are going to be seeing 3 flags on the map, little birds for both teams, and we are going to be having tanks as well. Infantry players are going to be definitely playing a rotation game, going back and forth between all 3 of these flags. That B flag will be up on top of the skyscraper, which we do see some interesting breakouts, but typically we are going to be seeing the RU team kind of getting there first. And was it who was the team? I don't know if you remember this, Dalton, but earlier on, I think we had a team that actually went for the collapse on the building. Do you remember that?
That was a couple seasons ago. I think in the EPG Cup we saw ESF doing it.
ESF, that they would do something like that. Yeah. They would do something. But I think standard play is probably going to be coming out today. But as far as you're concerned, do you still think that Legacy is going to have the leg up on this particular map?
Well, I know. Well, I think I know what Peepo will do here. He's pretty known for it. What he will do is use 25s on China side and try to shoot out the enemy little bird pilot. We've seen him do it over and over again. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it's always very interesting to see it happen.
So, we've talked a lot about the helicopters because they're absolutely important on this map. Where does the tank need to be playing? Because I'm always asking this question: should he be aggressive or should he be passive?
That's the thing. He has to be static when he needs to, but also aggressive when he needs to. The big thing that the tank has to do is prevent swimmers or MREPs going to their gimme flag. If he can prevent that, then that's a good thing. But once the gimme flag starts burning and he sees an opening to push onto the enemy gimme, then that's the moment he should push and coordinate with his team. But the thing is, a lot of tankers, they mess it up sometimes, or the coordination with the team is not right, so they like start pushing when there's no support yet. So I think communication is always key when it comes down to the tanks on this map.
Okay. Now, one of the things too is that we do see a breakout over. I think it's on the Chinese side, if I'm not mistaken. Typically on the water side of the map, right from the break. Those guys, do they usually have stingers, but we've actually seen some LMG action in the past.
Yep. Usually they have a stinger, but I think we might be seeing a straw here as well. If you can get that straw hit onto a helicopter, that's a guaranteed hit, whereas a stinger just makes the seed switch pop its flares. So I think the straw is what we're going to be seeing here.
Now, for those of you who are maybe new to competitive, your stingers, you're not necessarily expecting your stingers to get a kill. It's mostly just to kind of shoo away or zone out the helicopter.
Yeah, it's applying pressure, and I've flown like many years of scout myself in 8v8, and it's basically just like always having the pressure and realizing like I can't misplay here or the enemy team will have an advantage. So that's basically the use of a stinger. Obviously, in certain situations, the stinger will hit you, but overall it's meant to be like a means of pressure. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah, and if you can kind of work that in conjunction with your little bird, we've seen some amazing plays to where you can kind of jump on them there at the last second, and there's just really not a whole lot that other scout can actually do in those situations. So, that's where your teamwork and coordination is really going to be coming on in. Speaking of coordination and just teamwork, you've played both of these teams before. Who do you think has the upper hand in that? Because Nafu is kind of like an old guard team. Like they've been around forever in some form or fashion, right? Their roster has obviously made changes, but these players have been around for a long time. Kind of same thing over on the legacy side. But who do you think has like the overall better teamwork?
I would have to say my gut tells me Nafu. I think it will be Nafu, yeah. Although on Siege it can go both ways, really. I'm a bit too scared to give my opinion on it.
Well, you're going to have to, because my next question is, who do you think is going to be able to take this map?
I'm going to have to give it to Nafu.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go with Legacy just because, well, one, it's their pick, and two, I really do not see them taking Parasol Storm. Like I just don't see Legacy being able to take that map, and I want to see a map number 3. So I'm rooting for Legacy. All my BR fans out there, show me your energy in chat because they're gonna need it. That is for sure. Nafu is a team you cannot treat lightly. And we're going to be seeing some sparks here flying in just a few moments. So here we go. Legacy on the U.S. side, Nafu on the Chinese side. It is pretty much all, I think, well known that the U.S. side does have that little bird, which is typically going to be the better side of the map to have, the stronger little bird to have. And there you have it on your screen as we will be seeing the stingers out, the action here from Westshed. Just exciting stuff.
I think there was a misplay by the enemy scout, by Pipo there. They used the flares too early, where Pipo had to pop his ECM as well, and now he seems to be dying to Hulu there.
Oh, yes, he is down to about 22 health. We'll see if he actually gets jumped on here in just a few seconds. Hulu is going to possibly be making that play. He does pick up a couple of these frags on top of the roof. So the infantry battle is going to go the way of Legacy for now. And Hulu is getting chased, but he's still very good on health as the reps are going to be enough. And that will be Pipo going down with Infernus. That's huge, Dalton.
Yeah, that was a huge play. And as I said, I think that was a bit of a misplay by the seed switch of Pipo there, popping the flares too early, making Pipo pop his ECM and getting out of position. So that was very well played by Nafu, but also a bit of a mistake by Legacy.
Wait a minute, let's pop out to the overhead map just for a second real quick. The tank is already down. We see Nafu. Potato is on A, in A, getting the cap. What in the world? Typically, you do not see the armor trading out that fast, especially on the other side of the map right here at the start.
No, we don't usually see that, but that is something. Potato is a very smart tanker, so I'm pretty sure he knows what he's doing. It seems like he might be taking a couple of hits here, but I think it was all just applying the pressure, taking advantage of the moment, and keeping Legacy busy there.
Well, he does end up going down, but you know, in the end, I think it did take enough pressure off of that B flag. It does allow those infantry players to get up on top, and now we do see them in that dominant position where Nafu is going to be able to rain down infantry players if they choose to do so onto that A site, which is extremely difficult to deal with. But right now, we see no swimmers. We see no infantry really in a position to attack onto these flags. This is probably one of the best starts that you could ask for if you're a Nafu fan.
Yep, this was an amazing start. Both teams lost their tanks, obviously, but that's a trade-off to be made. They have the burn right now, and that's what matters in the end. They still have their heli up as well, so GG for Nafu there.
And Potato is going to be making his way over here into that B site. Nice job taking down Phasia. And again, using that UMP, the man is a mystery. Dalton, enlighten me. Why would you use the UMP?
I'm gonna be honest here, I have no idea.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows. We're going to have to get Potato in on an interview at some point, and we're going to ask him that question because it is a mystery. But right now, Westside is going to be chasing down two of these players, picks up Phasia, and his teammate is going to be able to clean that up. And that was going to be 4 down onto that C side. So it did get grayed out for a little bit, which does stop that burn. So this could actually be a lot worse. We could be looking at about 35 to 40 ticket advantage so far for Nafu, but they've been able to kind of mitigate that damage for the time being. But now it does look like it is kind of stabilized in the favor of Nafu. They are going to be able to continue on this burn. Now, these players that are back in between C and that spawn for the Chinese side, I mean, are they going to be able to achieve anything there? Because they're not getting onto that objective.
I think they're trying to get the heli down, but I don't think they'll be able to achieve anything. Maybe they'll get a drop and they start burning Charlies, what they did, and they get a swap bomb there, which is ideally what they could have done. Now it will be wait and see if they can actually cap the flag there.
And they are going to be able to get, what, 3 guys now on top of that site? But, oh my God, what is this? A squad and a half. I was going to be setting on here for Nafu.
Yep.
They are not willing to give this up, which I'm kind of surprised that they're not rotating over there towards that A site. And instead, they will be clearing that out. Is there any reason as to why maybe they would be hesitant to going over towards A?
Because they know the tank was up. The enemy tank was on Alpha, and they knew when they went to Alpha that they would have to contest the tank, whereas as they defended Charlie, they would only have to defend against or attack infantry. So I think that was the reasoning behind it. But this is why I said that Nafu is the team who have the best team play, because the way they coordinated that was just phenomenal. That was just perfect.
And a big push is going to be coming on through. Master's going to be able to pick up 1, picks up 2, and that's going to be 4 man down. There's one more, I think, left up in the elevator as he might be getting cleaned up. Yes, he does. Shadow does get taken out, and that is not going to be a successful push. Siren trying to do some work, will stay up and alive, but he's down to 6 health, and I don't know if he's going to be able to get those spawns in time in order to kind of bomb out this position. Still going to have to deal with that high ground. In the meantime, we do see some more spawns coming in over here to see. Phasia is going to still be up and alive as well, possibly getting up on top of that roof. So with the tank here, it's going to be pretty hard to push this out. Potato trying to do some work. You will be able to spot out a few of these infantry players kind of coming on through, but that splash is going to be near impossible. And ooh, the tank is going to come on out. Both reppers go down. The tank goes down. Hulu is going to be able to finish that off with the chopper. And oh my God, this is absolute domination.
Yep, this is complete domination by Nafu. Legacy missed the opportunity when the tank was down to cap Charlie, and right now there is not much that they can do. The heli is still up, they have Bravo secured, now the Nafu tank is up again, so there is no way they can get them to the Charlie objective. So the window that they had to capture Charlie went away, and now all they can do is try to get a tank down, but I don't see them doing much right now. I don't think they can.
They are scrambling. You know, this is something where I think they needed to come out and get control early on, and because they have not been able to, this is like typical Legacy. You know, they have a really hard time bouncing back and getting back into these matches if it doesn't go to plan right away. And we are seeing that kind of on your screen right now. Westshed is looking for these last couple of players. He is going to be able to find that using that MPX, and that is going to be, I think, another clear here very soon. If these guys are able to survive in this, yeah, they're just going to go ahead and bail on out, try and get over onto that seaside as much as possible. But at this point in time, like, your armor is not going to be up. Your helicopters are not up. What do you do in this situation here, Dalton?
Well, we do see Pipo doing what he's supposed to do and trying to sneak onto Hulu, but he already got spotted. He has a stinger against him, so I don't think he'll be able to do what he wants to there. He's trying his very best, but we did see a couple of members of Legacy rotating to Charlie already. If they can contest the tank and squad bomb it, then they could potentially get Charlie, but it doesn't look like they're doing that. They're going for Bravo, which is a bit of a misplay in my opinion.
We do have a couple of players setting up on top. They will be able to rain down those straws, get a few kills as well. So, but you know, weeding out this tank is so difficult to do here. I mean, he's got so many places that he can kind of hide in at. Your repper can kind of stay away from some of that damage unless you're just absolutely surrounding him. So that C flag is starting to go on down, but slowly but surely those players from Legacy are getting taken care of. Infernus will be up top. And so much smoke around here, you really can't see what's going on. These players are playing basically blind and just trying to feel out where these guys are at.
Oh, it does look like Brett dropped away there. But yeah, what he was saying, yeah, Brett dropped away, have some technical issues. But indeed, Nafu has to protect Charlie right now. And what we did, we do see Thunder pushing up now, but a bit of a misplay by Legacy there. They were split pushing between Bravo and Charlie. So right now they managed to get a squad bomb onto Charlie, and they have the 2 flag hole at the moment, which is ideal for them. We do see Nafu rotating to Alpha, and we're gonna have to see if they can contest with the tank. It's gonna be very interesting to see what they can pull off here. We also see Bravo burning right now. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe we can go. Yeah, we do see people manage to get up there. This is looking very good for Legacy right now. They only have 42 tickets left, but they're burning the tickets down of Nafu, which is what they want to do right now. Get them as low as possible and try to win the round, or drain them of as much tickets as possible so they can win the next round. In the meantime, we do see Nafu capturing Alpha, but it is the only flag they have right now. They don't really have anything else going on. They have 2 people on Charlie, but the tank of Legacy is there as well right now, which is a bit of a problem. So they're going to have to push all of their infantry and focus that tank, or try to get up to Bravo, which will be very hard with people being there. And we do see Brett coming back in. I think the production is adding his voice as we speak. So he should be here momentarily.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. ISP is definitely hurting me here. But it does look like that the magic for Legacy was Brett drops out, they end up getting a 2 cap and start burning things back. So for now on, I think if I want Legacy to win, I'll just go ahead and dip on out for a little while. But we do see that BC action coming on through. Pipo is going to be able to stay up, stay alive as well, trying to do as much damage over here towards that spawn. So 38 tickets left to go with this burn. And this is exactly why a 3 flag map is just so devastating, Dalton, is it does allow you that opportunity to really come back, where a 4 flag map, not so much.
Yep, indeed. And this is also why I think 3 flag maps are the most interesting to watch, because they're the most intense when it comes down to like the tickets and fighting over that last flag that you need to capture to burn down the enemy tickets. So I think this is a very beautiful round right now.
Audacious Potato here is going to be going back and forth. Thunder actually has pinned him back in his spawn. Now, Thunder here, he is going to be kind of, I think, moving past his infantry, kind of outrunning him just a bit. So does decide to go ahead and back on out, as C is going to be burning. So do you think that we should be seeing Thunder really getting that aggressive there?
I think he's just trying to support his team any way he can. And if that takes him dying, they only have 34 tickets left. So I guess the reasoning behind it is just do whatever we can. If I die, I die. We don't have a lot of tickets to play with here. We just need to maintain that 2 flag hold as long as possible.
Right. Well, we do see that B flag starting to flash over. It's going to be a 1v2. There is one player that is actually up and alive, I believe, for Legacy. in a position to maybe do something about this. But this has been absolutely stellar, I think, for Legacy. You know, they were able to drag that down about 100 tickets so far. That's going to make round number 2 much, much easier to come back from if they are not able to kind of clutch this up. And also make me wrong in that regard, because I was saying earlier that they have a hard time of closing out some of these maps and making a comeback. But Pipo is going to be able to spot out, gets 2, 3, 4 individuals or so coming up through those elevators. And that right there is just grade A power of that little bird when he has control of the skies.
Yeah, indeed. That is why the little bird is so important, and having a good little bird pilot as well. Like, in the right situation, with the right support of the team, you can just be completely devastating the enemy team, as we saw there on the Bravo flag.
And we do have, what's this, about a squad or so of Nafu sitting up on top of C. Got to get onto the burn here pretty quickly, but that tank is just doing so much damage inside. They just really don't have a lot of opportunity. And oh, look at that. That is going to be the chopper going down once again. Just enough to get some players over here on top of the site, but they're getting bombarded from every direction. They're trying to just absolutely swarm this tank. I think Thunder should be going down, but no, he still survives, as that's going to be 3, 4, 5 players going down on top. That is a huge hold here for Legacy.
That is amazing. Like, this round has been, it's been an emotional roller coaster, to be honest with you. We saw Nafu dominating, and what Legacy just pulled off was just a magnificent teamwork. The tank, the infantry, the heli, they all worked together as one big machine, and it was lovely to see it happen.
19-27. What is going on here, guys? We see a 100 ticket advantage absolutely melt and disappear, and all of a sudden now it's going to be Nafu losing the lead for the first time since the very beginning of this match, and B is now going to be flashing. We see a massive spawn bond happening on top of it, and this could be an opportunity maybe for Nafu to kind of close this one out, or at the very least stop this bleed. But Pipo is still going to be up, still going to be alive, so he's going to provide that help for his teammates on top of this site. And this B flag is going to be a hell of a contentious site. It does look like the back and forths are going to be going into the favor right now of Legacy, as these kills are starting to come on through. Nobody's able to get the cap on it just yet. I don't know, are we going to be seeing any meds up on the top maybe to try and get some of these revives, as there's just so much smoke you really can't see much.
Yeah, that is the ideal tactic there. Is just use so much smoke that the enemy heli can't kill you. Which is what they did, and they managed to secure the flag, so they will be taking this round, it seems like, although it be with only 7 tickets. And this is something that happened last week as well, when they played Imagine. Now for the really strong first half of the round, they were dominating, but somewhere along time, they just completely lost their dominance, and they gave it up, basically, and that's exactly what happened this week as well.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and pull up the scoreboard real quick and just see what we got going on. Really good, actually, frags coming out. Surprisingly good frags coming out here towards the very end. Legacy getting some good numbers up on the board. We see Hio going 18-16, 12-12 there for Infernus. Pipo going 11-6. He was having a rough time there towards the end of the game, or beginning of the game, but towards the end, definitely stepping it up and clutching out for his team. Hulu 13-7. He was definitely locking it down for Nafu, but unfortunately going down. And which is a surprising to see. I mean, I think that it was definitely surprising to see him winning out in that initial engagement, right? So definitely. It's kind of not something that's too strange to see the Chinese heli struggling in that sense. But, you know, who is this ultimately a win for? Obviously, we see the round coming on in through for Nafu, but Legacy able to drain down all of those tickets. I mean, I think ultimately they're happy with the results that they did get. But now we do see Nafu on the US side. They're going to have the better little bird. They aren't going to be able to get to B first, but having that advantage just in terms of that little bird, how much is that going to impact this next round?
I always think that China is the easiest side, definitely. So I don't know. I like I said, I think people will be taking 25s here and will be trying to shoot out Hulu, and I'm not sure if he will be able to do it. So we're gonna have to see what happens. But this round was definitely a win for Legacy, even though they lost with a couple of tickets. The way they came back was just beautiful. I think it was one of the better comebacks that we've seen this season.
Yeah, I think that if you were to just look at the stats of this match and you actually didn't watch that round, you would say that Legacy took a big L on this one because it was their pick. You would expect them to be able to come out a little bit more, obviously winning the round initially as well. But if you did watch that, just being able to make that comeback, it's just draining those tickets down. I mean, 7 tickets is almost negligible, right? I mean, it almost doesn't even exist. You might as well start reset from zero. But I do have a question for you, okay? Because I am curious. You stated that you think that the Chinese side is the easier side. Now, why is it the easier side?
It is the easier side because you get to Bravo first, and if your Little Bird pilot knows how to position himself, he can take down the Little Bird because he has the advantage in height. We saw, I think it was a couple games ago, where some, I don't remember which pilot it was, but he went very passive on China's side, whereas on China's side, you should just have the balls and do the push, use the height advantage, and push the heli back so they don't get any initial drops onto the roof. So we're going to have to see what Legacy does with it, but that's what I would do.
All right. Well, we do see Phasia and company out. Like you just said, a Straw and a Stinger are going to be available for both of these guys. So if they can actually connect with any of these shots, that would be absolutely huge here for Legacy if they can connect onto a Straw. Not going to be seeing that just yet, though. We are going to be having some initial drops coming in, but Peepo is already down to 25 health.
Yep, he got hit by a Straw. That is what happens. Nafu strawed him. He's down to 25 HP, got 75 hit. And that is a huge disadvantage, and he will be going down.
So what was the move there from Peepo? Like, why did he push over there onto A instead of kind of floating on back behind that C flag?
Well, he knew he was going to get pushed anyway, so he decided to take the non the route that wasn't expected, but he managed to get spotted. So it was a good attempt of trying to get to Alpha, but I think he also managed to get some spawns for his team onto Alpha, which could be the initial goal of that push.
He did, and I think he actually stopped that flag from being capped totally, which does mean that the bleed was kind of stalled out there for a few seconds, which may actually come into effect later on, especially if we had a round like we did before. But still seeing that pressure over there onto that A flag, so it's definitely not done just yet, as we are going to be seeing those drops now starting to slowly trickle on in over here towards that C flag. And this is where it really gets annoying when you are on C. It's just that constant harassment when you don't own that B site.
Yeah, definitely. We do see Alpha blinking in favor of Legacy right now. They have 2-3 members of Legacy there. Audacious Potato is going to have to go back and defend it. But we also see a push from Nafu rotation going to Charlie, which is what they would have to do. We also see Hulu going to help there on the Charlie objective. We see a couple of members of Nafu going back to Alpha to protect it as well. So I hope they're not split pushing too much, that they made up their mind what they're going to do, and it seems like they do. We also see 2 members of Legacy going up the elevators onto Bravo. So I hope Nafu realizes it, and they do. They manage to pick off both guys coming up.
Yeah, that is definitely a big win because they were able to stall out that push over onto A. We do see Thunder coming on through with the tank, maybe too little too late. He is going to provide that spawn for his teammates, but with that tank right now downtown, it is going to be a huge kill. Actually, Hio suiciding onto the tank, and that will be Vitoli and Weshed both going down, so it does leave it open for a possible push coming in. Phasia does end up getting picked up as well. So far, it is going to be a hold here onto that A site, but slowly but surely, we do have Legacy starting to win out on this burn, and those spawns are going to be coming on through for Nafu. Is it going to be enough though? Infantry players doing, I think, a solid job so far for Nafu.
Yeah, Hio is just farming right now. I don't know what his name in the lineup was. I don't recognize the in-game name, but he is just absolutely destroying all of the inf on It's Whiskey, I heard. So Whiskey is just completely obliterating all the Nafu inf on the Alpha objective. He does get taken out by Weshed now. Weshed managed to get a double kill, and Nafu is still contesting Alpha, to my surprise.
Oh, but we do see Neo doing some work downtown. Finally gets taken out. Thunder going to be able to pick up 2. Lego trading it out. Hio following it up, but still Nafu is strong down inside that A flag, and they have been able to hold this off for the time being. Still going to be getting grayed out. We also are going to be having Hulu back over here with that little bird and try and provide some support, picking up 3 kills of his own. So in the end, while it was a valiant effort there from Legacy, Nafu, they absolutely did what they needed to and held on.
Yep, they made the right decision going for Alpha. I think it was a bit of a misplay by Legacy putting their tank there as well. If I remember correct, that's what happened. But yeah, a solid defense by Nafu. We saw frags coming in from Legacy, but it was just not enough to get them off the Alpha objective.
So right now you've had a big failed attempt over there onto A. Now it does look like we're going to be seeing a really big attempt here onto that B site. Nice job there from Master Ruskies. You will be able to clean up those kills, but your little bird is up if you're Legacy right now. Do you try and maybe hold off on pushing a flag for just a few seconds and just focus on getting that other little bird down for Nafu?
Well, there isn't much people can do right now. He does push right now. He's going to have to pop his ECM and hope, and he gets hit by Straw there. So that is probably the only thing he can do at that point. He can try to sneak around the map and get an ECM sneak up, but he decided to go for the push and it didn't work out, unfortunately. We do see Bravo burning in favor of Legacy right now, which is a very good thing. We see Hulu trying to pick up some frags, but with all the smoke going on, there isn't much he can see, so not much he can shoot at.
Yeah, this fight on top of the building is going to be critical, and Hulu is in the perfect position here to support his teammates and to be able to get a couple of these frags, these reinforcements coming on through. They have been able to get control of elevators as well. That's going to be a huge stinger comes through for Sea Shadow to be able to take him down. That's going to allow them a little bit of a breathing room opportunity onto that B site, but look at this. Letco already watching out for those spawns. Nafu knows exactly where they're going to be coming through, and that will be a cleanup onto this B site once more. So when it does seem like Legacy is going to get a leg up, well, all of a sudden Nafu, they are going to be able to pull this out, and there are 2 men trying to do everything there inside that wet bar, but that will be Neo in the end, taking him out with a straw. So Phasia, he didn't get those slams. I thought maybe he would have, but you know, the little bird's down. Is the tank back up right now? Tank is going to be back up for Nafu, correct?
I think he is. Yeah, he's just protecting
Yes.
right now.
Okay. But with Peepo up and alive, is this not an opportunity maybe to tag team that tank?
There's nothing people can do right now. He's getting stingered from the top of Bravo. Every time he gets out of cover, he will get contested by the stinger. So there isn't much he can do. I think it was a bit of a misplay by Legacy. They had Bravo and they wasted all of their manpower on Bravo without putting a single guy sleeping on Alpha, which is a bit of a misplay in my opinion. They could have gotten a rotation off with at least 1 guy and secured that position, because now they're just fighting over Bravo again, and it doesn't seem to be working out for them.
All right, well, Peepo is getting aggressive. He was able to kind of shoo away Hulu there for a little while, maybe delaying this initial reinforcement to come up onto that B site. They do want to get control of Bravo. This would be such a huge win for them in this round. Remember, guys, they only lost by 7 tickets, so this is absolutely doable. But in the meantime, we do see a reinforced push coming on into that C site for Nafu. The tank is going to try and have a field day. That will be Thunder, picking up 2 kills, looking for 3, but he was so low on health, not going to be able to happen. Where's the infantry here for Legacy? I think they are going to be able to hold on, but not before the flag gets capped.
Yeah, but in the meantime, we also saw infantry from Legacy rotating to Alpha, which was the smart play there. They are split pushing now, so I hope it doesn't bite them back in the ass. But we're going to have to see what happens here. Legacy did manage to secure Bravo with the help of People, and if I'm not mistaken, I think People is still alive, so that's going to be huge for Legacy.
Oh, and they absolutely need to make sure that they can secure this C site. That would be huge if they were able to. This bleed, by the way, I still want to mention, guys, the bleed is still in the favor of Nafu. So every second that C flag was up and running, that's more tickets going into the favor of Nafu, and they absolutely love that. That's for sure. And Rastaruski is going to be able to pick up a couple of kills. I think that right now Nafu just tenacity of able to stay alive on these flags. We saw it over there onto the A site earlier on in this round. We saw it on B. Now we're seeing it on C. They are just, I think right now, just the communication to be able to just reinforce exactly where they need to is just next level.
Yep. Well, talking about that communication, I think they overcommitted on Charlie and are not going for the redeploys fast enough. We do see Legacy going for the Alpha objective without any one of Nafu contesting. So that's going to be an easy cap for Legacy. They also can't really push Bravo since Pipo is still up in the heli. So I think this is going to go in the burn is going to go in favor of Legacy here.
Oh my God, look how many slams are going down. Guys, I don't think you need that many, but they are making sure that if that tank tries to come on through, he is going to get picked up. Hulu's still going to be pushed all the way into the back of his own spawn, as we are going to be seeing. Did B actually get cleared up, or do we still see some infantry players that are going to be setting up on top of it? I think, yeah, so we still see some infantry presence there onto that Bravo side. It's going to be a 1v1 as he's coming up through that elevator, and I don't think Shadow... Well, actually, is he going to drop down and try and maybe pick him up as Neo is down below? And talk about being a clutch player. If Neo can actually catch this straw onto the helicopter, that would be amazing for Nafu. But A is getting grayed out. And oh my God, I thought there for a second Neo was going to do it.
Yeah, I thought as well. I think if he had a small there, he would have hit it, but it was still a very nice attempt there. We do see the Legacy tank being up again, so he's going to be contesting Charlie with the help of the infantry. So I think the smart play would be for Potato to push up if he notices that his infantry is struggling. But I think it's just going to be too much from Legacy onto Charlie right now. There isn't much Nafu can do. They have to contest the infantry and the tank at the same time. Although the tank is 13 HP right now, so they might be able to get it down, and they do.
That they do. That last attempt there to try and maybe pick up that infantry player was not enough. 35 tickets left here, guys. About 27 to go before we do see the win coming into the favor of Nafu, which would be absolutely huge here. Now, we don't have the momentum shift that we had previously with Legacy, so I don't know if they're going to be able to make this comeback. He is trying to do everything that he can. He does get picked up. Larissa is going to be down below as well. They do manage to get the Greya, I think, on C, but more and more, I love this here from Neo. Going and grabbing this MAVB, able to get onto the site. It's going to be soaking up so many of those rockets. Yes, he does go down, but you know, right now, Dalton, it's all about time, right? How much time can Nafu waste?
I think this is going to be the map towards Nafu here. Legacy, I don't think they'll be able to come back from this. Like I said, Nafu, very strong team play. The way they coordinated on the flags to defend and cap them was just picture perfect, in my opinion. They managed to clear the Legacy infantry every single time that they went onto a flag, which is just what they have to do, basically, and they managed to do it in a magnificent way.
You're absolutely right there. And I think, you know, Legacy would have probably benefited from going over towards that A site with at least one individual, especially when you see Potato spawning in as an infantry player. You might as well try and go for something crazy on it, right? But that's not going to be the case. GGs are being called, and it's going to be 141 there in the end, going into the favor of Nafu. A total score of 148 tickets as they were able to secure map number 1. And I have to mention, I said this before, I'll say it again. I do not see a Legacy taking Paracel Storm. I mean, I just don't.
Yeah, I think a lot has to happen and go wrong for Nafu for them to lose it, but I don't think it's impossible. They have Thunder back now in the boat, which is a very good player. They also have Sea Shadows, which in my experience, he used to play for a different Brazilian team, but I can't really remember the name. It may have been Wolf Team. And that guy with his toes is just very annoying to play against. He is a toe and straw god. So it's going to be... All right, and I hear we are going into a 3-minute break, which is exactly what we're going to do. So we'll be seeing you again in 3 minutes.
All right, guys, we are live. Loving it here. We saw map number 1 going by. That's going to be Legacy not able to take it. And actually, Nafu on Legacy's pick will be able to secure that map win, which is going to be huge going into map number 2, which will be on Parasol Storm, their own pick. But real quick, if we can, I do want to pull up the bracket because I do want to mention the fact that, yeah, Legacy lost in the quarterfinal round. So they've made a pretty decent run so far through that losers bracket to get to this point. So they actually went from losers bracket round 1 all the way up now to the losers final. And it would be absolutely huge to see them being able to kind of go through this gauntlet and then make it up into that winner's bracket or the grand final of this particular cup. So they got a long road ahead of them. And, you know, the reason I mentioned this, Dalton, is that Legacy, you said before, this is a team that can win on Parasol Storm. It may not be likely, but they do have the players. They have the talent. If they can just put it all together, they can absolutely take this map.
Yep, definitely. I think they're a bit of the underdog on this map, for sure. But we've seen crazier stuff, right? I think Pipo in the Scout is a very good player. And then we see, I think it will be Thunder. And I don't know who the other player will be for Legacy in the boat. But it will be Thunder and Spectre. So I think it is possible. They have to give everything they have, but I think they might be able to pull it off.
All right. And guys, for you just joining us, thank you so much. Make sure you hit that follow button down below. Share the stream.
And I think Brett has dropped away again. He's...
Okay. We're back. We back. All right, guys. Sorry about that. Yeah, so if you guys don't know about this map, it is going to be a 4-flag map. We are banning Echo out. So you're not going to be seeing that extra little bird come into play. We are going to be seeing A still in play, but the boat is that spawns up there is not going to be available for these teams to play. And so 1 boat per side, 1 little bird per side, and we're going to see some rib boat action, although unfortunately we don't have King Gump out there to really, show us how it is played. That man just absolutely knows his way around a rib boat. And we are going to be having some interesting infantry play. I mentioned before, Dalton, that this particular map is very rough for infantry players to rotate just because of all the water, just how separate the flags are.
Yeah, it can be a disadvantage, but the water can also be used as an advantage. When you're spotted by the little bird, if you dive underwater, the little bird can't hit you. So you can use it to your advantage. And also, sneaking up to a flag is a lot easier with the water compared to just ground, right? You can duck under the water and hide yourself from getting spotted. So yeah, and we also, like you said, we have the rib boats who will be able to take down the heli, to apply some pressure. And we also might be seeing a C4 jet ski or a C4 rib boat incoming. So that's something that I'm looking forward to.
Yes. Although we don't really see C4 jet skis all that often. But yes, it is definitely a possibility here on the map. And, I want to talk about breakouts right now, Dalton. What... typically we do see, boat heading up there towards that A site, little birds kind of clashing for just a few moments there into the middle of the map, and they kind of break away from each other if they both survive. And I mean, are we going to be seeing pretty much standard coming out of here, or maybe switching it up a little bit?
I think we'll be seeing the standard stuff, although I believe Nafu will be going for a rotation to the gimme flag of the enemy team on the start. So they will be having a rib boat or a jet ski, or maybe even a swimmer, swimming to Charlie or Delta, depending what side they start on, to get that sleeper there. In case they lose Bravo or Alpha or both, they manage to have spawns on that other gimme flag. So I think that's something we might be seeing here.
All right, so it does look like we have some technical difficulties on some of these players, which is okay. Not a big deal here, guys. We're going to be waiting for them to join on in, but we should be getting started here very soon. talking about some of our vehicles here. So again, we're going to be having a Chinese versus US. Obviously, the US Little Bird's is slightly better, but you had mentioned before that you thought that the Chinese side in Siege was actually the stronger side, even though maybe the vehicles didn't really reflect that. But on this particular map, do you think that what side do you think has the advantage?
US has the advantage, 100% sure. The Z11 on this map is just such a pain to fly. There's the poles on Alpha that you have to watch out, flag balls on Charlie, Delta, Bravo, even Alpha. The trees everywhere, like if you hit those with the Z11, chances of you dying are so big. Also, dodging stingers around the rocks is so much harder with the Z11. If you tip the heli a bit the wrong way, if you make a little mistake, you will get taken down by yourself, basically. Whereas with the Little Bird, it can take a lot more, and it's a lot easier to stay alive with it.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that one. Does seem to be the case here, but do you really think that that fact is going to be, making that big of a difference?
Other than that, the sides are pretty equal. I think the only part, in my opinion at least, is the Little Bird that will make the difference.
All right, so going on to the boat. Now, we talked about the boat is kind of a dual two-man operation, at the very least, at the very start. What setups do we typically have for both of those guys?
Neo will run. I can't speak for Neo. Neo is probably one of the only drivers who uses tow and zoom. He uses burst, tow, and zoom, whereas most other boat drivers, they use burst, TV, and thermal. And then the guy on the back, depending on who it is, I know that Nafu sometimes they run 30 millimeters, but usually we do see then the boat switch with a tow and a 25 millimeter. The only theme that I see it being different from is Nafu, because, like I said, Neo has the tow missile, so we will be seeing Masterus with the TVs there.
Okay. Now, what's the advantage of having the tow over the TV initially like that?
Well, the tow is a one-hit. If you hit it, the heli's dead. If you hit a TV and he's 100% HP, he can still manage to repair and survive. So that is, other than that, I don't really see an advantage. I personally think the TV is a stronger thing to use. But yeah, like I said, Neo can pull it off. Definitely.
Okay. So, that's pretty interesting. I like that kind of setup going, the dual purpose route in those boats. We are going to be seeing, like you said, that burst can coming out, making sure that they can kind of focus down on that helicopter initially right from the start. And if they do end up hitting those toes, that would be absolutely amazing. That is for sure. Does look like we are still having a slight problem with getting some players into the server. We are waiting for one more to join on in, so do apologize for this delay. But while we are waiting, let's go ahead and just talk about a little bit of BCL. So BCL here, guys, they are going to be providing, obviously, this Summer Cup. We absolutely appreciate it here, hosted by Inter onto the channel. And we're looking forward to some big things. I'm hoping that we're going to be seeing some awesome stuff here into the future coming out for them for 2042. Obviously, I think everybody is ready and waiting to see how that's going to be turning out. I know a lot of Battlefield 4 players, this is their kind of last big hope, right, of any kind of competitive Battlefield to come back, and absolutely would be fantastic if that is the case. And BCL is there ready and waiting. So definitely, guys, make sure you hit that follow button down below. Make sure you follow us on Twitter as well. You'll be seeing a lot of the updates, all of the updates actually going on over there, and for any future cups that may be popping up as well. Now, I don't know if we have anything in the works or not. Patty will let me know if we do, but I don't think so at the moment. But again, just want to say, big prop for BCL for hosting this and getting some good Battlefield 4 action going on. Dalton, what we're kind of talking a little bit about 2042, as I mentioned before. What kind of things are you hoping for in terms of competitive with that game?
I really hope that we'll be able to establish a competitive scene, but the way it's looking right now is they got our hopes up with Portal, with the customizability that we had there, but then they instantly took our hope away with the spectator mode. Like it was like they gave us a gift and then they instantly took it away from us again. Yeah. So while I saw some interaction on Twitter by a guy working at DICE about what we need, so that brought my hope up a little bit again. But if we don't have a spectator mode, I don't see us having a competitive scene. Yeah, there might be some teams scrimming or some tournaments, but there won't be anything big, or we won't be able to grow a community like that. So I do hope that DICE listens to us and provides us with a good spectator mode.
100% agree. I can't argue with you there. I'm a big proponent of spectator mode. If you guys do not know, I've actually been flown out to DICE LA back in the day for Battlefield 1. I'm giving feedback for the spectator mode back when Hadi Wadi and cannot think of his name were not a part of DICE yet. And they just came out with the camera, or the free cam cinematic tools for Battlefield 4. So it was pretty exciting stuff back then. So definitely know that it broke my heart when I found out that spectator was not going to be in the game, because as I said before, I've been a big proponent of it for years now, for us to be able to grow this scene. And I agree with you. I think that without it, it's going to be very difficult, but it's not going to be impossible. At the very least, for the first couple of months, I think that we could manage to, at the very least, build a base, a good base, kind of get an idea as to what maybe the new modes, maybe the new maps are going to be. And, speaking about that, I do want to get your opinion on this, because this has been a back and forth throughout the community for quite some time. We have had this debate about what is good for the players versus what is good for viewers in terms of the mode itself. What are your thoughts on maybe just carrying over the classic conquest that we've had since 1942 to maybe changing it up a little bit?
I think we definitely have to change it up a bit. We've seen, sure, we've got a viewer base now, but it's all people who know the concept. We're not attracting a lot of new viewers. And I think the current concept of Conquest is very hard to get into as an outsider. There's so much you have to know. There's the game itself and then the casting itself isn't all that hype if you compare it to games like CSGO or League of Legends, where there's constant action going on, and it's very, very clear what the point is, right? So I think we definitely have to find a good balance in what the viewers want, but also what the players want. But I think with Portal, we'll be able to figure something out at the least. And it also doesn't necessarily have to be one big mode. I'm a big adversary of having a infantry-based mode and then having a infantry combined with vehicles mode. I think both are very, very fun to watch and very fun to play. Whereas a lot of people in the community, they seem to be like, oh, we need to have 5v5 or we need to have 8v8, and there is no middle ground, or they can't coexist together. And I think that is something that has to happen, because there is people who love to watch the 5v5 scene, but also the 8v8 scene. So I think that is something that we have to keep in mind, definitely.
And you do have some people as well that absolutely do not like playing with vehicles. I mean, I remember talking with guys back in the day where they would play 5s, but they absolutely refused to play anything 8s or 10s or 12s or anything related to vehicle play coming on through. So I kind of agree with you there. I don't see any reason why we can't have two scenes. I do think that when it comes down to eventually, now this may be an unpopular opinion, but I don't think that 2042 is going to be the game that we should push for LANs and push for big events, right? I think that it's possible that we can have some decent prize pools for it. I think it's possible that we can have some decent organizers and sponsors for it. But as far as really pushing for kind of what we had in Battlefield 4, where we had a LAN series going on, I don't think this is the game for it. I think we need to build that base first and then look at it for the next game that comes out. And hopefully those tools and those that structure that we've built are going to be able to carry on over. But yeah, I totally agree. I think Conquest needs to be looked at. I think we need to look at maybe a different mode, or maybe some way of combining Conquest with an objective style mode as well to kind of placate both sides. But yeah, it's going to be a really, really interesting period of time. But we are back, guys. This is going to be our second map of the night. Again, if you are just joining us, this is Legacy versus Nafu. Map number 2. Nafu did take map number 1 pretty convincingly in round 2, but came down to 7 tickets in round 1. So if you haven't seen that, definitely go check that out. At the very least, you can do it after this match is over. But here we go. And Dalton, I'm really curious what these breakouts are going to be. I think that hopefully we have some epic TOW or TV missile shots coming out.
Yep, as I expected. We do see a not live coming in. I think a player from... Yeah, it's not live. A player from Nafu dropped again. That is very unfortunate.
And who is this? Is that the same guy that ended up dropping last time? Is that Hulu? Hulu dropped. Okay. Yeah, that's a big deal. That's a real big deal. You know, your helicopter pilot isn't in right at the very start on Paracel. That makes quite an impact on the map. That is for sure. So, again, guys, we do apologize for the delay, but we're going to go ahead and cut it to a quick break here, guys, and let you take a little bit of a break from us, from me talking, because I know you all love listening to Dalton's smooth, sensual voice. And we'll be back here in just a few seconds, though. All right, guys. So this is it. Hulu is finally able to stay in the server. We're going to be on board with Nafu right from the break to see how this is going to be playing on out. And there are those drops that we have been talking about here, as the Z11 is going to be able to get some infantry onto B. Initial damage is going to be onto Hulu, which isn't too surprising here at the moment. Peepo is shooed away for the time being, and both choppers do survive for now. And as I say that, Master Ruski is going to be able to take down Peepo. That is going to be huge.
I think Hulu also died at the same time, the exact same time he died as well. We do see Neo with a mortar. That is a very interesting approach.
I could see that, taking down parts of the building, definitely shelling some of those players out. But is it going to be that effective? I don't really know. We do see that B site, though, completely owned right now for Nafu, just now getting over there towards that Delta side. So yeah, Legacy still not in a terrible position, even though they don't have their helicopter. And as you said, Hulu also going down. Nice job there from Loco, able to pick up one with his teammate Phasia. And that will be B flag secured and safe for the time being.
Yeah, and we do see a little push coming in from Legacy onto Bravo. I don't think they'll be able to do much right now, but at least they have someone there to spawn. The flags are 2-2 right now, so it's just whoever gets the rotation in will start burning. And we do see the boat of Nafu. I think it's Masterus and Potato, so Neo is not in the boat right now, which is very surprising. Masterus also a really good boater. We do see the heli of Nafu back up, so my guess is that he's going to push the Charlie objective together with his boat and the infantry.
Well, they definitely are going to be trying that. The infantry, though, I think for Legacy have been able to spot out those reinforcements, but they're not able to get the kills. That's going to be a 3-man push coming in, and that C flag is going to burn oh so fast if these guys are going to be able to get onto the cap in time. But Pipo is going to be up and alive as he picks up a few of these kills, starting to transition on into it. This is going to be huge as he is dodging out those missiles coming his way. You know, that's never going to get old, man. I'm going to love that till the day I die, watching those on screen, just dodging them back and forth. But they will be able to secure the C flag. And the crazy thing is we're also going to be seeing B getting flashed right now. So Nafu in a bit of trouble.
Yep, Nafu does seem to be in a bit of trouble. Also, the moment I said that Hulu was up, he got TV'd by the boat and crashed into the water, so he died as well. Right now, the boat of Nafu is getting bombed by Legacy Infantry, and he does get taken down. A very good squad bomb by Legacy, meaning that they will have a free rotation onto the Delta objective. Combined with the push on onto Bravo, this is a very dangerous situation to be in from Nafu. Both their vehicles are down, and they don't have anything to defend their flags with.
So question for you right now. So as soon as we saw Hulu going down from coming on out, should the boat have just went ahead and backed on out?
No, the boat was at the safest position he could have been, at their gimme underneath the bridge. The problem is that they didn't spot the infantry and the squad bomb coming in from Legacy. And we do see Legacy having a 3-flag hold and Nafu rotating to the Alpha flag. But with the Legacy boat being there, it's going to be very hard, and Pipo is also rotating towards Alpha. So I don't really see what Nafu can do here. It's a very tough spot to be in for sure.
It absolutely is, but if there is a team that will be able to regain, it's definitely going to be Nafu. TVs are going to be out, and is he going to connect? I didn't really see if he did, but the helicopter is shooed away. It looks like he did take some damage, as people will be able to chase him down and do the damage that he needs to. We do see that Delta flag starting to get flashed, only about halfway grayed out, and I think they will be able to get cleaned up in just a few moments, as those infantry players still going to be getting lined up. And holy crap, that is going to be another shot coming on through. Is that Pipo going down there?
I think that was Pipo going down, yeah. Indeed.
Oh man, but infantry battle is definitely shaping up here onto that Delta site. Phasia able to pick up 1, looking for 2, and he is going to be able to get the help from Infernus to be able to clutch that out. So that's going to be 4 down for those infantry players. And now with the opportunity of having both the helicopter and the boat up, maybe they can get this flag back underneath their belt over on Delta.
Yep.
All right, so quick update right now. Hulu is not able to join into the server. He did crash out again, which means that Emmy is going to be coming on through and trying to bolster up in that position. Now, how obviously not having your main helicopter pilot in is going to be huge, but how do we see maybe the adjustments coming in from Nafu?
I don't know who on their team will fly the heli now. I'm going to be honest. They all have infantry players. We could potentially see... Yeah, I really don't know who will be flying the heli. I think this is a big problem for Nafu here. They don't have a backup heli, and with just an infantry player who has maybe a little bit of experience in pubs, I don't think there will be enough to beat Pipo and the boat for sure. So this is a very tough spot to be in for Nafu.
Well, we'll see if they have the resolve in order to take this win, shut it out in a 2-0 series. At the very least, we are going to be having that map number 3. So not all is lost. Siren is going to be up and alive here on the backside of that B flag. As so far, Nafu holding on strong here. And that will be Master Ruski able to pick up that last kill there onto Bravo. I think there's one more maybe left up alive up top. But so far, we are back to a 2-2 standstill. Both flags or both teams are going to be able to stop this bleed, as it's 216 now to 178. And this is kind of definitely indicative of a Paracel storm. You are going to be seeing a slight lead coming on out. Pipo does go down. Potato. Not only is he a beast in the tank, but you put a small in his hand and he's going to make some magic happen.
That was a small that came from the other side of the island as well, I believe. So that was a very nice shot by Potato there. We do see Nafu contesting Delta, and Charlie, I mean. Let's see if they can manage to finally take the burn into their advantage, or at least stop the burn.
Well, West Edge does get picked up. Infernus will be up top. Nice job there spotting out those players, but not able to get the connection on the shots, as he is going to be waiting for those players to eventually come on through. But that building is going to be collapsing very soon, and you do see those kills coming on through. Did that just kill both of them? Is there anybody left? There is. 2 more players are going to be down below for Legacy, so they hold on to that 3 flag burn. And now up towards this boat, as Spectre really hasn't seen a whole lot of action.
No, he has been on Alpha the entire time, and now he finally has to do something, but I don't know if he'll be able to do it. We do see Nafu shooting some straws at him, and Thunder coming in to help him, which is a huge plus. All he has to do right now is just kill off the white dots and secure the flag in favor of his team again.
No doubt about it. Do see the reinforcements coming in onto Delta. Little Bird is still going to be up for Nafu, but again, Don Polo is going to be
Polo.
flying.
Polo is definitely... Polo is a public scout heli pilot, and I think he'll be able to secure the position at least. It's better than having no one.
Exactly.
I think he's a solid pilot in public, so he'll be able to do something at least. He does get NASA pushed by people. This is something you have to watch out for on Parasol. With the experience Polo has, which is not a lot, he probably forgot to spot. Also, his team should be looking out for that with stingers, or just, every now and then look up, make sure your heli isn't getting pushed, because the sky barrier on Parasol is very high, and you can just use that to your advantage to push over the heli or get a drop in on a flag.
Absolutely. So back to a 2-2 standoff. Does look like B was going to be secured, and we are going to be seeing that Delta flag also saved. 3 players from Legacy do go down, and Pipo is going to go ahead and retreat on out of there. Now, so he's going to be making his way back over here towards his Bravo site. Where's Potato in his small? I want to see it again. Not going to be having it just yet. We do have reinforcements, though, starting to move over there towards that C flag with the infantry for Nafu. Also going to be seeing them bolstering up over here onto B as well. So this is fairly chaotic, but so far, like I said, Nafu doing a decent job of not just completely collapsing in the situation.
Yeah, definitely, and they're also on the harder side with the Z11. And like I said, with Polo being there, it might work out for them. We do see another push from Legacy going onto Bravo and starting to burn that objective. While Nafu has finally managed to stop the burn, they're still behind 50 tickets, which isn't a big issue. They should be able to come back from this.
We definitely hope that they're going to make a game of this for sure. As Loco is over here onto that C side, it does, was it 2 infantry players right now for Nafu are going to be getting up on top, and Loco does get taken down as well. So we are down to just a few players on the outskirts for Legacy trying to make the way into the actual burn, and they're taking quite a bit of damage trying to make that happen. And this is just absolutely fantastic here. We do see Siren able to pick up 2 now onto the site. And that will be able to maybe secure it here for Legacy, or at the very least get a presence on it, as Pipo now comes in for those reinforcements.
Yep, we do. I think we saw a complete wipe there on Charlie objective from Legacy onto Nafu, and they will be going back into a 3 flag hold. No rotations coming in from Nafu. The boat is back up, and Neo decided to take it into his own hands right now. But I don't really see this going well for Nafu this round. They had a major setback. They do have to start rotating right now. I don't think the Legacy boat has died once. So this is it's a lot of mistakes and a lot of bad factors that are happening to Nafu right now. They do see Delta burning as well right now, so they might be getting full capped here. This is looking very bad for Nafu.
It absolutely is. Now, in this situation, obviously, Nafu is doing some on-the-fly restructuring of their players and where they're going to be positioned at. We've seen Neo now as an infantry role at the start, now going onto the boat. We see, obviously, Don Polo shifting over there into the helicopter. So, yeah, it's definitely a mess for these guys. Not ideal whatsoever. But, Dalton, when you're in this situation, right, when you're down your own heli scout pilot, what should we be seeing coming out from Nafu? I mean, obviously, we have the advantage of not being in the heat of the moment for the game, but what is it that they should be doing right now?
Well, they have to defend Delta, that's for sure. What I would do personally is just get some rotation going. Even if you have to take a jet ski all the way around the map, maybe push your heli into the, like I said, the sky barrier, get a sneak on. Just try to do anything you can at this point. Even if you die 20 times, it's better than just letting them burn it. So, and that's exactly what Neo is doing here as well. He's just pushing aggressively onto that Charlie objective, trying to do whatever he can, but it's just too much. And at this point, it is very, very hard for Nafu to get a rotation. And maybe they'll be able to get it onto Bravo. Maybe Don Polo will be able to do something here. But I think it might also already be too late for them.
Well, we did notice there as well that the boat for Spectre is starting to kind of come on down the side of A, and Don Polo does get picked up as well. So that's going to be no vehicles whatsoever here for Nafu. And yeah, Spectre is going to go ahead, get some TV missiles thrown out there. Maybe get some infantry kills with them. I don't know. We have seen that happen on top of these buildings. But yeah, I think this is... As much as I would love to see Nafu being able to come back, the problem with a 4-flag map, Dalton, is that you have to not only capture 2 flags in order to get just, you know, a neutral bleed, right? But you have to capture a 3rd flag just to get the bleed in your favor. And with only 30 tickets left to go, I just don't see that happening.
Yeah, I don't see it happening either. All they can do is damage control at this point, which is what they should be doing. They do get some infantry onto the Charlie objective, but Pipo is just annihilating anyone on the Bravo objective. We do see infantry fights being won on Charlie there for Nafu, and I think they're managing to neutralize it there, which is a good thing, but I think it might be too late. They're just, you know, trying to maintain a little bit of tickets at the end of the round, but there's not much that they will be able to do.
Well, what's ideal here? Like, ideally, what can we expect them to be able to maybe drain the tickets down now that it is a 2-2 flag setup? Because obviously they're just trying to make round number 2 easier, right?
Yeah. So right now they just have to defend the flags that they have, get as much picks as they can on the infantry, and drain the tickets by spawns, basically. That's all I can see them do. Maybe get another rotation going towards Alpha, but I think that's also impossible because, like I said, Spectre hasn't died yet, the boat from Legacy. So yeah, I think this is probably the round right now.
And Pipo does get taken down by Audacious Potato once again with the small. Oh, man, I love it. He's at least providing us these amazing clips here. You got to love that as Vitoli takes a rocket right to the face. Oh, my God, that's got to hurt. But now we do have 2 flags starting to burn. Westhead trying to do all that he can. Again, every single time that they're forcing a spawn out of Legacy, that's making it 1 ticket easier in round number 2 to try and make that comeback. So far, they've been able to drain about 10 tickets. Maybe if they can get at least 10 more, you're definitely looking for a better position for them to be in, as Loku will be trying on the hunt just to finish off these guys. Now, you also have to remember that every single ticket that we see blid from the guys over on Nafu, that's 1 less person that they can actually spawn back in. So they have 2 tickets left that they can spawn up. After that, they are pretty much going to be on their own with whoever is left on the map. And then that point is just going to be attrition, as we do see the boat trying to do some damage. Will be able to pick up 3 kills, it looks like. So that's going to be a start. But I would imagine right now we're going to be seeing pretty much no spawns coming in the board for this Legacy team if they don't have to.
Yeah, and Legacy securing Delta, and that will be the game. This is the round 141. They managed to drain, I think it was like 20 tickets in the end, which is really good. 141 tickets. It's not impossible. If Nafu can get their act together for the next round, it will for sure help them. And let's look at the scoreboard. Spectre 8-0, didn't die once, did his job, protected Alpha the entire round. People going 21-10, also very strong.
Yep. All right. So, guys, do want to let you know that we are going to be having a short little break here. We're going to be trying out some things on the server to kind of maybe help some of these players get back into it and see if maybe that those are the issues that are causing some of these drops to happen. But we're going to be taking a quick break. Once again, guys, we do appreciate you for tuning on in. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back for round number 2 of Map 2, Legacy versus Nafu, in just a few short moments. All right, guys. I think we're back. Maybe. Possibly.
I hope so. We're finally back.
Maybe. You know.
This has been a lot of waiting today.
Give your energy to Hulu's computer. It needs it. All right, guys. We do have the server restarted. Players are starting to jump on in, and we should be getting this match underway. We are going to be seeing the second round here, getting started in just a few seconds. It is going to be 141. Yeah, 141, I believe, to 0 so far, going into round number 2 in favor of Legacy. We are going to be having Nafu, though, taking the better side. So if Hulu is able to get in, you have to think, Dalton, that they've got a pretty good chance of being able to pull this map out.
Yep, definitely. 141 tickets is, like I said, it isn't, like, they can still do this. They can definitely still do this. But I really hope they get Hulu back in so we can see a proper game this time and not like the mess we saw last round. Because in the end, it looked very bad for Nafu, but I think they still did a relatively good job draining the tickets like that. So I'm excited to see what they can do this round.
To be honest with you, Dalton, I think that is one of the best outcomes that you can hope for in that situation. I mean, they completely on the fly restructured their team. Right. So you saw, Neo jumping back into the boat. You saw Don Polo jumping up into the helicopter. Emmy came in as an infantry player. Their squads were probably flipped around as well. People playing with people that they're not typically used to. So, yeah, I think that was a fantastic outcome overall in order to kind of mitigate that damage, which honestly, we might have been able to see, more of like 180 to 190 ticket game going in favor of Legacy had that not been the case. And I know it doesn't seem like a whole lot. We're talking about 30 and 40, maybe 50 tickets or so, but that in a game like this absolutely makes a huge difference, especially when you, like I said before, you have to cap out that third flag. It's not enough to get 2 flags, guys. You have to get 3 flags on Paracel in order to get that bleed in your favor. And while it's down to a 2-2 standoff, well, every single time you spawn in, that's one more ticket that you don't have to rely on. So absolutely crucial for these guys to be able to come out and hopefully with their full complement in terms of their roster, as well as with a very early on bleed. Yep,
definitely. So we're going to see hopefully Hulu in the heli. I think it will be Masterus and Potato in the boat then. I was mistaken there on the lineup. I thought it would be Neo and Masterus. I don't know why they decided to go for that. Well, Neo is a really good boater. Masterus is also good. But I think, especially on high ping, Neo with his toes may have been able to do more damage than Masterus with the high ping TVs there.
Well, they had to get him on that mortar action.
Yeah, definitely. That was a very interesting, but also a very smart play. And destroying the building, putting pressure onto the Legacy infantry was a very good decision and something that we do not typically see, which is why I said that Neo is such a great player.
Yeah, that's something that I do like seeing is some of these interesting plays coming on out, especially this late in the game. Just, hitting the back flags with those mortars. We see, what was that the other day that we saw coming out that was pretty interesting? I can't remember off the top of my head. That's terrible for me to try and even recall that as a caster because it just looks terrible. Anyways, so very, very interesting plays coming out from both of these guys still late on into the match. And now it is all going to be up to, Nafu to see if they have the grit here in order to take this win. 10 seconds to go before we get this thing started. They have the better side, right? They have that little bird in their back pocket. If Hulu can stay in the map, you got to think that they're probably going to be able to push Legacy around a little bit easier than what we saw previously.
And let's see if Hulu crashed. Can we get a view of the scoreboard or the heli? It does seem like Hulu manages to stay alive for now. So that could be the thing they need to win here. Let's hope his PC stays stable and he does the job that he's supposed to do.
The Inspector is going to be coming out with that TV missile. Will connect onto that rib boat, so that's going to slow that positioning down there for that A side for just a few moments there, as Nafu is going to be able to get onto these flags and start burning them down. We haven't been able to see anybody get to A just yet, and the attack boat actually for Nafu not going up to the A once again, instead staying down there towards those gimme flags.
Yeah, and in the meantime, we did see Hulu taking down Pipo, and I think Hulu is still alive. Yeah, he managed to repair his heli. We do see Neo and Masterus in the boat, as I predicted firstly, so I was right in the end. And now we will see the boat of Nafu together with Hulu, the scout heli, pushing onto Alpha, getting down that Legacy boat, because that's something they did not manage to do last round.
Now, this is definitely something that we've seen from Legacy coming out with, I think, 2 reps onto the boat, but it's not enough. Thunder goes down. Potato's going to be able to get that final straw in there, but returning the favor, that is going to be the boat for Nafu getting picked up, but they have the numbers in terms of infantry, and they have the support of the helicopter. Hulu doing some work, and it is definitely showing it, so maybe a bit of a chip on his shoulder here to prove that he can absolutely have this impact onto the game itself, and we are going to be seeing still in contention here. Siren trying to stay up, stay alive, maybe provide some spawns here for his team. His Legacy, well, should they go for this A flag, or should we maybe start seeing him transfer somewhere down towards the south?
Well, they would have to start rotating towards Bravo, which is what they're doing, but I'm not sure how well they will be able to do that. And Nafu now has to redeploy. Oh, never mind. They're going for Charlie. Nafu managed to stop the Bravo push. Legacy instantly going towards Charlie. I think the smart thing for Nafu to do here is take the heli, go onto the Delta objective, the enemy gimme flag, and get a drop on there. Oh, Weshet managed to take down 3. Oh my, that was a beautiful play. That was, beautifully done by him.
That is the plays you needed to see coming out from Nafu, and they are absolutely destroying him right now. Neo, how do you... Don Polo with the Rimpo is going to help out Neo, who tried to go in for a panic knife, actually, and still going to be seeing some work coming out from Don Polo. He does get taken down eventually, though, but that is some huge plays coming on out, and actually the nail gun being used. I don't know who that was, but that's a gun that we don't typically see being played, but man, that is some crazy-ass action that is definitely going on down. We do have, looks like C-Flag getting overwhelmed here from Legacy, but still having the players here. Master Rusi going down with that raw West Edge. Is he still up here? Is he still going to be able to pick up the kills? He is! It's West Edge once again holding on strong. Give that man a raise. He deserves it.
I think it's safe to say that we can call Weshet the king of stairs at this point. The way he defended those stairs, the man deserves a medal, like you said. And I think we did see a player of Legacy dropping. Can we have a look at the scoreboard and see who it was?
Yes, it does. It does look like we do indeed have one of those players out.
Yep.
So that is going to be hurting them kind of, man, hope he can get in here fairly quickly or somebody else can kind of replace him. Because right now it's looking dire. 243 now to 179. Guys, they have lost a total of 9 tickets so far in this game in the last 4 minutes. That's impressive.
Yep, that is very impressive. And this is why I said if Nafu manages to get Hulu back, this should be theoretically, this should be an easy win for Nafu at this point. The way they're dominating right now is just, they're out-rotating and outplaying Legacy in every way. I don't think there's much Legacy can do here to keep their ground, basically.
Well, we are going to be having Potato in his UMP. See if we can get a couple of kills here. As again, I just want to ask why he uses this gun. It's just so interesting. As not going to be able to connect on the shots, but this is a very big back and forth battle of and onto that Charlie flag. Important here for Legacy to stop this bleed at the very least until that 8th player is able to get on in. And it does look like Spectre and Loco both going to be able to connect with kills of their own. And we do have still a presence here from Nafu. Letgo doing some damage there onto the boat. Is he able to provide some spawns out of it? He is. So this is going to be what, 2 players I think on Spectre here, just trying to get those revives in or repairs in.
3 players. And we did see a flank coming in from Legacy. Potato managed to take him out, the last guy alive on the Charlie objective for Nafu. Can he get the other kill? Yes, he does. He is now burning the objective on his own, getting the spawns in from his team. We do see 2 members of Legacy coming into the Charlie objective as well, and he gets taken down by Potato. It's looking like Nafu might be able to take the objective back and get the 3 flag burn again.
And we do see nice back and forths here, but it is still going to be going in the favor of Legacy so far. C is going to be getting traded out, I think. Maybe. No. As soon as Legacy is going to be able to find some ground, it is going to be evened all up once again. We do see B flashing, though, as well as Delta. So 3 flags are going to be on the board here in contention. And Don Polo going to go ahead and try and push this advantage here with that med kit, but not able to make it happen. Over her onto that B side, we are going to be seeing just 1 infantry player trying to go for a flash. Interesting enough, we do see Spectre over here as well.
A is getting contested by Spectre, but Hulu instantly rotating, looking for the kill. But he does get into the reboot. Can he take down Hulu? It doesn't look like he'll be able to, but at least he's able to do a little bit of damage there. But there is no one to follow up on it, so it's a bit of a wasted opportunity there. We do see the Little Bird from Legacy coming back up, I think, as well as the boat. No, not the boat, only the Little Bird. It's going to be interesting to see what Legacy does here. We do see one member of NAFU being on the Delta objective, and he gets taken down by Lolko. It was Weshit again in the stairs like before, but this time, unfortunately, he wasn't able to do the things he did before.
No, he was not. Phasia still going to be up and alive there over onto Bravo, though, but I do see rotations over there onto Delta at the same time. And Vitoli is she actually using the nail gun? I think she was. That is just an interesting gun as well. Not really sure as to why we're seeing some of those coming on now. Hula Mulu, though, able to pick up those last couple of kills there onto B, so B is going to be safe for the time being, as Masteruski now going to be rotating back over here towards that Alpha side with the boat. Do we have the boat up yet for the Legacy side?
Yes, we do. He is currently at the base island, probably going to try to shoot some TVs, support his infantry on the Alpha objective with taking down Masterus. I think Masterus needs to get in repairs right now, or he's going to be in a bit of trouble. With all that infantry from Legacy being there and the boat pushing him, this is a very tough spot for him to be in. And I think we will be seeing him go down momentarily.
Yeah, and we also saw him jumping out as well just to try and get those reps in. 2 reps are going to be on Potato right now. Potato doing some work on the infantry players, and it is going to come down to just one more shot. And yes, he does get picked up. Does look like no infantry players are there to help with the kill on the Thunder. Maybe they could have been able to pick up another kill on him, but not going to be the case. So A, going to be swinging back into the favor here of Legacy. There it is, the reinforcements here for the infantry. Just a little bit late. Is it going to be enough, though, to take him down? 2 reps are there to make sure that he does stay up, stay alive. But this is a lot of infantry presence here onto A. Do we see them maybe suiciding out, go somewhere else? That C flag also starting to get flashed.
Yep. Legacy committed a lot of players onto the Alpha objective. And NAFU is now taking advantage of that by capturing that Charlie objective, or at least trying to. We do see Pipo and Spectre being up for Legacy, with the boat and the heli being down for NAFU. So this is going to be very interesting to see how they can, survive that 1 minute, 1 minute and a half without their boat and heli.
And that building is probably going to be getting collapsed here in just a few moments, as we do see Neo just trying to hunt around in these trenches for these last couple of players. They're just playing whack-a-mole right now, popping up, popping down each and every time. But Legacy is going to be able to clean up on the outside. Only one more player left up and alive. In the meantime, we do see B getting flashed, and that could possibly drag those players away from the rest of the sites for NAFU to have to defend that, because it could potentially be a 4 flag cap coming on through, and it is. Oh my God, we are going to be seeing a complete gray out onto B. Pull up the scoreboard. Let's make sure everybody is in the server, because I do want to see that. Yeah, they are. It does look like maybe Hulu Mulu actually bounced out. So yeah, he dropped, did get back in. That is going probably reason why we're seeing this huge swing coming up. But this is huge. 141 tickets, and Dalton, we're not very far from it.
Yeah, we definitely aren't. I think this is probably match point right here. I believe Legacy will drain enough tickets for them to take the map, and I hope we're going into the 3rd map, which is Zavod. We do see people picking up a couple infantry kills, defending that Alpha objective from Bravo. And we did, while you were talking earlier, we did see Spectre hitting ATV on Hulu coming out of the base, which resulted in Hulu crashing into the water and having to redeploy. So the heli was down for another minute. We do see the NAFU boat coming back up, going to try to go Charlie, I guess. Maybe stay alive until Hulu is back up. But it's not looking good for NAFU right now.
No, it is not. And ladies and gents, as much as I would love to see NAFU bring this back from the brink, I don't think it's going to be enough. They've definitely had some issues here to contend with. But, on the other side, we saw Legacy as well having a pretty rough start. So that's going to be a straw finishing off Masteruski there. Phasia will be able to connect with that shot. And that is going to be it. So that will be GG's being thrown out. We are going to be seeing a 3rd map coming on through. We'll be on Zavod. And this map right here is definitely going to be a very interesting one. So we're not going to be seeing any scout helicopters coming into play. It is going to be the transport choppers. I think really it's going to come down to how amazing can the infantry and tank work together.
All right, then we're back. Yeah, I think it was very interesting seeing Legacy take that map. Like I said, nothing is impossible, and they managed to take it, which means we'll be going into a third map. What is also very interesting is that the pick of Legacy was won by Nafu, and the pick of Nafu was won by Legacy. That is something that we do not see too often, and I think it was very well played by both teams on both maps.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it's definitely frustrating that we did see those drops, but then again, we saw them on both sides. So it's kind of one of those situations where it's like, it kind of evens itself out. It sucks. But that's what happens in an online league, right? But now moving on into Zavod, we are going to be seeing, or do you think that we're going to be having any players kind of trading on out, rosters changing?
I think we'll be seeing Hulu drop out definitely, and I think Amy might be coming into the team. All right, that's exactly what they will do, I heard. And then also on the legacy side, I think we will be seeing Pipo drop out. I don't know who will be joining instead of him, but other than that, I think the team should remain the same.
I imagine that Hio is probably going to be rejoining. I didn't see him there on that Paracel map, but he was known. Okay, who was that? Denzi?
Dinzy, yeah.
Okay, I don't recognize Denzi, so my bad there on that one. But yeah, we're going to be seeing some really awesome infantry play going down in the middle of the map. Tanks are definitely going to be important, but with this particular lineup, do you give an advantage to either team in terms of the armor?
I think, in my opinion, Potato is one of the best, if not the best, tanker in 8v8. Mechanically, he's no longer the person he used to be back in the day, but he still has the knowledge and he can still hold his own. On the other side, we do have Thunder, which is also a very, very strong tanker who's also up there. So it will come down to the infantry, I think. And we have seen Legacy being an infantry powerhouse on Zavod. Like, I think, if I'm not mistaken, we saw them beat Imagine in a scrim sometime that was casted, and they were just purely, or it was a Night Cup, I believe, and they were just purely dominating on that map. So I think it will be very interesting to see those teams fight it out. But if I had to make a prediction, I think it will be going in favor of Legacy here.
All right. Well, if you guys do not know, Zavod is a 4-flag map. We are going to be seeing the tanks in play for each side. Transport chopper will be in play for each side. No rocket truck there in the middle that spawns is going to be in play, so that is completely off limits. And we are going to be seeing some MRAP action as well. But this is going to be heavily dependent on what your infantry can do, right? You're going to be seeing a lot of fights there into the middle of the map. That's where your really heavy hitters in terms of your 5v5 guys coming into 8s are going to be stationed and playing and making sure that they can get those trades back and forth. We have been seeing some pretty interesting guns coming out here as of late, so I am curious as to what some of the setups are going to be. But another thing to point out on this particular map are how important it is to get that pressure onto the back flag, making sure that you are going to be able to have at least one player or so driving that 4-wheeler all the way around and trying to put pressure on A or onto D. If you can end up doing that, that will force the tank back at his home. Typically, we have seen some really interesting plays where the tank just didn't care, but that was when a team was absolutely dominating. But if you can force that tank back, it does allow your infantry there in the middle just kind of free range to do what they want. Now, as far as the transport chopper, we do see some teams kind of bailing out of the transport chopper, going, strictly just infantry, or for the break anyways. And then every now and then they'll jump into it to maybe get some drops in on the back. But we have seen some teams, fairly often jump up into that scout, or I'm sorry, not the scout, but the transport, and just kind of hover around. And they've actually been picking some players off and controlling those roofs.
Yeah, definitely. I think the transport is a big factor on this map. If you can stay alive with that, which, if I remember correctly, Imagine did very well. They managed to stay alive in the heli. They got constant drops, constant rotations in favor of their team. I think that is a big factor on this map. Having those spawns, having those rotations, having the overview of the map, spotting out the players, spotting out the tank constantly, it is a big advantage. So I hope we're going to be seeing some good transport action. Also on the start, I hope we'll be seeing another delayed start from one of the teams, which is always very interesting, going for that tow launcher at the start, trying to tow the enemy chopper and then taking up the heli. But we'll have to see what happens there.
And that's typically on the US side, correct?
Yeah, Yeah, I think so. Yeah, my
so-
head is it's a bit a mess right now, but I believe it's in the US side. Yes.
Yeah, so if you guys do not know what he's talking about, we do see every now and then a team going in for a toe shot to try and take down that transfer heli before he's able to get those drops in to the middle of the map. That does allow you to kind of have free range with your own transport chopper. You are going to be able to get there, a little bit late to the middle, but you're really depending on your MRAP to actually get you to the center of the map, as opposed to your transport chopper. So you kind of give up the roofs, but you are going to be able to get onto the flags for possibly a really big trade-off, right? I mean, that's pretty huge if you could deny those players from getting into that middle of the map that quickly. Anyways, we also do see some every now and then some tank shots that are able to connect, though it's very, very rare, but it does happen.
It does happen indeed, and I think we're going live right now. So if we're switching to the game screen, we should be on the countdown, which we are. And let's see what they do on the US side here. Like I said, they might go for a delayed start with the heli, since the US heli is a lot is a lot weaker than the Russia heli, which almost always loses the initial fight. So we'll see what happens, and we do see them taking it up immediately.
And Letgo is, well, he is going to be delaying his push on it so far. So that toe is probably going to be coming on out, as we are going to be seeing some flex coming in as well. So pretty standard so far. I think that they are going to be able to get those drops in onto that center of the map. They do. And yeah, so far it does look like Legacy will be able to have the dominant position and into the middle of the map. Phasia, though, is going to take some damage, and he is going to have to back on out of there. But I think the real big play right now is the fact that Neo has been able to get all the way around the backside and stop this cap from happening.
Yeah, but he does get taken down by Thunder there. I think it was a bit of a misplay going for the Stinger on the heli. But we do see another member of NAF who's still alive, Weshet, which is very good that he's still alive. Although I do think he might get taken down from the tank, he still manages to keep the attention of the tank onto that Alpha objective, giving his team the ability to push onto the middle objectives there.
Wesha does eventually go down, but where is the armor right now for Legacy? Or I'm sorry, for Nafu? It does look like he is going to be on that center flag there. Potato doing some work over here. I love this transitioning over into that secondary seat, going for those incendiaries, something that I think is not seen enough from a lot of these tankers, because they are absolutely versatile in that respect. But it does seem like C flag is going to get grayed out. We are going to be seeing that infantry prowess from Legacy really starting to rear its head, and they are taking advantage of it. Infernus does go down. Don Polo, though, getting traded out, and this is a pretty difficult spot to have to push in from. We are going to be seeing maybe the tank helping him, but he's got to be careful, because potentially we're going to be seeing a pinch coming up through the middle with Thunder.
Yes, exactly, and this is why I said the Legacy infantry is very strong, but they're also used to playing on a higher ping. These guys, I've seen them play on EU servers in 5v5s. They've played on, they always play on NA servers in 5v5 events. Usually they have to play on NA servers when they're scrimming as well. So they are used to this ping, which gives them a huge advantage on the infantry side of things. And we do see Thunder going very aggressive onto the Charlie objective. Now for trying to get some straws in, but I don't think it will be enough. Voltoli managed to get a double kill there onto Higo and Douglas. And she managed to get a third one. That was very well played by her, but eventually she does get taken out by Lucas. We do see Weshet on top there, trying to get control of the machines, but he does get taken down as well.
Vitali, I will not question your pick in guns, because that was absolutely fantastic plays coming out. But on the reverse side of that, we do see a lot of death coming in here. Thunder is really holding it down for him. He's been able to pick up several kills over into the middle of the map. That is going to give them that C flag up back. And we did see Potato getting picked up as well. So that means that no armor to kind of counter this push is going to be available. And it's going to be all up to these players here from NAFU to make sure that they do stay alive and keep a presence up in the middle of the map. And that's going to be all up to Don Polo and company. But I do like the fact that we are going to be seeing the Phasia in that transport chopper able to pick up a couple of these kills trying to transition towards that A flag, and this is an incredibly strong hold for them to have, as 239 now to 202.
Yep, it definitely is. I think this is going to be a very rough one for NAFU. We do see them going for that Charlie objective right now. Let's hope they can finally gray out an objective and get some burn into their favor. We don't see any rotations going to Alpha for now, which is very hard for NAFU to do as well, because Legacy still has their transport heli up. And as I said before, the transport heli is able to get spawns, but also manages to spot rotations early on, giving the info towards the tank, and then the tank can take care of it. We do see another push from Nafu onto the Bravo objective. It's a big one with a squad bomb. They're going to have to watch out for the roofs, but I think they'll be able to gray out the objective finally. In the meantime, we also see a member of Legacy rotating towards the Delta objective. Going for the back flag. He sees Bravo burning. He's like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to go for the back flag, burn it out again, get some of the manpower away from the middle, and hopefully help my team out that way.
I do want to point out that Potato is hightailing it there towards the back flag in his tank. So that definitely is an interesting play for sure. Thunder is going to be making his way over there. Does look like the push onto that B site is going to be failing. Spawns are going to be coming back in for Nafu. Lots of infantry to support him right now. And Thunder is going to be in an interesting position, right? He's going to kind of get pinched from both sides. You're going to have infantry coming off from that A site as well as in through D. And Potato is not slowing down. It's coming all the way around to the backside of the C flag, as well as Vitoli going all the way back over here towards A. So they're going for a multiple pronged attack as Vitoli does get picked up. But so far, a decent push here from Legacy, or I'm sorry, a decent response here from Legacy to be able to hold off this push. But look at Potato holding his fire. I love that. Held his fire to the very last second, gets a shot off on the back. The straw follows it up. That's going to be no more Thunder, and they will be able to get onto this C flag to get the cap.
That was a very big mistake by Thunder there. He didn't spot the tank, and it cost him his life and potentially the flag as well. We do see Legacy bombing the tank right now. It's amazing teamwork what they're providing here, and they do manage to take it down, which puts them again at square one, basically. Nafu took out the tank, but they also lost one. We also still see the Legacy heli up. They didn't manage to take it down yet, which is a big, big problem right now. We have rotations going out all the time. Nafu never manages to take control of the roofs. This is a big, big problem for them right now.
Yeah, but Nafu is going to be able to get the gray out over onto A, and if they can secure Delta, at the very least, they're not going to have to worry about a bleed coming on through. If they kind of hold off until their tank maybe respawns, it will give an opportunity to push back over there in towards the middle of the map. But as soon as I say that, it does look like Legacy has been able to clean up over here towards that Delta side. Emmy is going to be able to make his way in. He picks up at least one. For number two, as he's stalling out this push so far. Respawns are going to be huge here. Maybe a bit of an overcommitment there onto that Delta site. I don't know if you need the MRAP and 4 infantry players to come on through, but I didn't notice that transport chopper is up and is going to be able to create some damage onto those infantry players onto Delta.
Yep, the chopper is still up. I don't think it has died once, and as we see again, it manages to create some spawns onto Alpha, onto the roof as well of Alpha buildings, which is practically impossible for the Nafu infantry to take care of without their heli. You can't, like, if they go prone on that roof, there is nothing you can do to get them off there except for throw a good nade, but how many nades do you have in that position? We do see Nafu doing a big push on both middle objectives, which is exactly what they have to do while Legacy is trying to capture their back flag again.
Oh my god, dude, this is just so back and forth right now, and 100 tickets between these two teams, but it definitely looks like Nafu is starting to find their groove once again, as we see C and B both getting grayed. B is going to be going into their favor. C just now starting to win out the burn, and this would be a huge turnaround. They will be able to start to get this bleed back into their favor. They still have some pressure over onto A as well. I love this, having that one player all the way in the back. He will be able to cause at least one, maybe two players, even the armor, to have to sit back there and take care of him. So that is a very, very good play from him. And this is all about soaking up time, right? We talked about it time and time again, but if Nafu can just delay these players transitioning onto these sites, they are going to be able to even the score back up.
Yeah, indeed. And this was a very good play by Nafu. They managed to distract them enough from the middle flags to be able to capture it. But I do think with the focus that Legacy is putting onto those middle flags, they'll be able to take them again. Like, it looks like every time Legacy puts their mind onto a flag and the players on there, they manage to take it. And there's not much Nafu can do against it.
Oh, but Don Polo comes in with his teammates. Will be able to clean that off once more, and that's Legacy making
And we
a
do see the
huge
two,
mistake.
sorry for interrupting you there, but we do see the 2 tanks on the outskirt of the map battling it out, and it looks like the Nafu tank got taken out by Thunder and an infantry there. Sorry for interrupting you, but I managed to spot that.
That is absolutely okay. Yeah, you do have the tank battle winning out for Thunder. That's going to be huge. Potato. But he is going to be back in the infantry role onto that B side. So it may help them trying to push over into this middle section of the map. But Lucas has control of the top side. So they will be able to provide those spawns to come back in for Legacy on top consistently. And that will be annoying to have to deal with. But right now, Nafu is perfectly okay. Oh, man. 17 health. Thunder hits the slams. And he is going to have to back right on out of there. Anybody coming in with a stray straw to be able to take him down. There it is. Oh, he pops
Oh, he
APS
managed to get
just
the
at the
APS.
right time. And Thunder survives. That's a huge play there. Both sides that will be able to.
And it does seem like Brett's mic cut out again, or his internet. But I'll keep going. That was a beautiful play there by Nafu, and they managed to take down the tank. However, the transport heli of Legacy is still alive. It hasn't died this round, and it's actually unbelievable. I mean, in the meantime, we do see Legacy contesting Delta with the help of their transport heli. And we also saw one flag going into the favor of Legacy in the middle. However, Nafu still has the 3 flag hold that they need to burn the tickets down. Legacy managing to capture Delta at this point. Thunder contesting Alpha. There's a lot going on the screen right now. Let's see if Thunder can manage to take back the Alpha objective here, hopefully with the help of some of his infantry. We do see Delta almost getting grayed out and the middle going into control of Legacy again. There's no players of Nafu left in the middle flags. So all they have to do right now is hopefully hold the 2 gimme flags. We do see the Nafu tank Potato coming back onto the Delta flag. He'll be able to help out his infantry there, but Legacy got wiped off of it. All they have to do now is capture Alpha, and Legacy has the burn again for Nafu, against Nafu. And it looks like Thunder managed to clear out Alpha. There's 2 members of Legacy left.
And yeah, so like I said, I drop and all of a sudden Legacy starts doing better. So, hey, I'm here for you, Legacy guys. I'm definitely there. But anyways, A is going to go down. All the buildings are collapsed. That's kind of crazy. But right now, B is an absolute cluster as these infantry players are just going back and forth. Westshed is going to be able to pick up 2, it looks like, and it will be going in the favor, I think, of Nafu. I think they've been able to clear off enough, so that's going to even it up at 2 flags apiece. Still 152 to 90, so not able to even it up as much as Nafu would have liked to have, but it's still a lot better than what we saw previously.
Yeah, that was a very, very well played. I think this is a nice comeback of Nafu. They were down bad at the beginning of the round, but somehow they managed to turn it around. They're taking opportunities and they're using them to their advantage, which is something that they have to do at this point. We do see roof control still in favor of Legacy, and I've said it plenty of times this round, but the heli of Legacy is still alive. Nafu hasn't taken them down once, which is, as I said before, a big problem for them.
Well, taking a look right now, you do see 20 and 8 there for Alaris. That is a fantastic score line there in the middle of the map, as just racking up the. Oh, whoa, Potato almost hitting those slams. And I don't know if he's still up. I can't see because it's just black smoke. He does back on out. It's going to be pushing Thunder right now. He gets the disable, and he will eventually go down, but Thunder gets traded out in the process. So armor pieces are completely canceled out. It's all up to the infantry players. You still have the transport chopper that is up and alive that's going to provide those spawns to just consistently jump on down onto the center side. But Nafu trying all that they possibly can in order to secure themselves a foothold here into the middle of the map. So far, they have been able to hold off this push from Legacy, and at the very least, will be able to get this cap. Now, it's all about where they can push in from. They don't have to worry about Thunder anymore. And they are going to have to worry about those drops, as we are going to be seeing one over on the Delta, but where are they going to actually push into?
Well, Nafu will push onto the Bravo objective now, but there is a lot of presence from Legacy there, so I don't think it will result into anything productive. I think they should be going for an Alpha rotation right now, since they should know that Bravo is practically impossible for them to push at this point. We do see one member of Nafu at the Alpha flag. but they also have to defend the Delta at the same time, which is currently going into the favor of Legacy.
Oh, Neo right now, or I'm sorry, yeah, Neo is going to be back over there towards that Delta side. He is going to be able to pick up at least one of those frags. Thunder is going to be setting up on top, though, and he's going to be providing some interesting cover for his teammates as he does get traded on out. And there you have it. Phasia, we talked about Phasia in some matches in the past, though. He is absolutely stellar on this map in that transport chopper. We've seen him really do the damage that he needs to in order to kind of turn things around for his squads. And that's just something that you don't expect a whole lot as your transport to come in and to be able to kind of hold players off of those flags. But they absolutely can do that. And now we do see that center site going back and forth. We do have C completely grayed out. B is starting to get flashed over as we do have Legacy able to secure it. But Legacy is kind of grouping up. We're seeing them kind of in that Zerg mode, right? They're pretty much just going from one flag to the other in this big old mass.
Yeah, I feel like Nafu has finally, after all these games, managed to get the rotations on point. And this is what we see when Nafu does that. They start rotating like crazy, and Legacy is just choking at this point. They don't know where to go first. They don't know which flag to defend because Nafu is just all over the place. And this is why I love seeing Nafu play on these maps like Salvat, because they are the team that can pull this off, and it's so beautiful when they manage to do it. Unfortunately, we haven't seen it that often this season, but this game has been a blast to watch and to cast, so I'm excited to see what they can pull off in the next half of the round here.
Well, we still have a lot more to go. Potato is going to be back up in his tank. 56 tickets now for Nafu to 122. All of this back and forth that we have talked about, Legacy has been able to maintain that 75 ticket or so lead and doing a fantastic job at it. So we are going to be seeing Potato, though, getting aggressive into the middle. He is going to try and help out his team as much as possible to stall out this burn over onto C. Legacy starting to transition back around onto this flank, but this is a difficult area to push in from. And did Thunder die, or did he just get backed up? I saw him for a second.
I didn't manage to catch it, but it looks like he may have died there.
I think he died. Yeah, he did. So this is going to be a huge opportunity right now for the side of Nafu, potentially. But Legacy still holding strong here into the middle. We do see Thunder going back and forth, able to pick up Letgo. Don't see anybody in a position for Nafu just yet to get onto the site. As I'm not really sure what the tank was doing there, if he was just kind of backing out maybe to get some heals going on in, but he took a little drive there into the northern woods, and wow, that is a big hit onto the transport chopper. I think to stall him out, he is going to have to just go ahead, settle for that Delta site, as we do see Infernus back here trying to get this burn in their favor.
And I gotta give credit where credit is due. Fejo is, I think, the reason that Legacy isn't completely choking and managing to keep a bit of pressure onto Nafu, because with him being up and still alive, he's managing to get rotations onto the back flag of Nafu the entire time, which is a great play by him. I think he almost single-handedly making sure that the Legacy isn't choking under the pressure of Nafu at this point.
Oh, absolutely. I 100% agree there. It does provide them those back spawns consistently. And, you know, we have not seen Nafu controlling the roofs, like, at all. Nope. I think maybe Lucas was up there, or I'm not Lucas. Maybe Don Polo was up there for just a little bit, but that was towards the very beginning of the game, I think, and he got knocked off pretty quickly. So it's been pretty much Legacy in control of the roofs the entire time, as we are going to be seeing C now getting grayed out. Nice job there from Douglas as he's looking for number 2. Not going to be able to find him, though. And the reinforcements now starting to flood on in for Nafu. This is desperation mode for sure. 41 tickets are left as we are down to a 2-2 flag standoff. Thunder now making his way back in, as I believe Potato has been taken out. So this is going to be a moment here for Nafu where they're going to really have to struggle. Nope. Potato is still back up, but he takes a huge mine there. 14 health. A straw coming in off of the rooftops, and he is dead, ladies and gents. So that's going to be crucial that he does stay up. But I think the bigger issue now is that it delays him from being able to get onto that middle part of the map.
Yeah, definitely. And we do see another drop coming into the Delta objective, and Thunder is pushing onto the Delta objective there. I think this might be the end of Potato, especially because he has his back turned towards Thunder. This could be very bad for him. And we do see the disabled coming in and the destroyed. Very well played by Thunder there. This is why I love Thunder. He can do the aggressive push when needed, and he can pull it off. it's a beautiful play what he managed to do there. Will he stay on the Delta objective? That is something that I don't think he will do. He might go back to the middle and help out his team there. He does get some pressure onto him from the Delta objective by Master Ruski and another member from NAFU. But in the meantime, we do manage to see Legacy manages to get mid control again.
No, I agree with you there. I don't really think maybe he should stay on that site just yet unless he gets some infantry up to kind of help him out. And he does back out. So he's going to be able to get 2 fresh kills there onto that C site. We've seen A, D hold. This is a hold that it can work for a little while as you position yourselves, but it's not ideal, obviously. It's very, very hard to reinforce, very hard to make sure that your team doesn't get completely wiped on the one flag. You're going to be able to come back in and get those reinforcements in as quickly as possible. So NAFU right now, they are definitely struggling all that they possibly can, but we're seeing all 4 flags at the moment starting to get grayed out. D is going to be the first one to get grayed out. We do see C on its way, but it does look like those players have been taken down. And now NAFU with no flag in hand, could this actually be the end of this round?
I think this is the end of the round, yes. It may be a bit soon to say, but I don't see any way that NAFU can get a hold here. We do see a lot of members still contesting, but I don't think it will be enough. They might get 1 flag, but they will never manage to get another flag here. So this should be the round, I think.
And we do see the gray out there onto that Delta site. So at the moment, I think we're all in agreement that we're probably not going to be going in the favor here of NAFU. But how many tickets can they actually drain? Can we see them bringing them below maybe a 60 ticket mark, a 70 ticket mark? That is going to help them out in round number 2 as much as possible. Thunder is going to be skyrocketing in to that C flag to try and grab as many of these infantry kills as possible. Remember, every single infantry player that dies is going to be 1 more ticket that has to respawn and that much closer for the secure on round 1 for Legacy. And it looks like they have been able to do just that. C is going to be getting grayed out in just a few short moments. We do see Potato back up in his tank, so maybe it's his time to get aggressive and just start farming these kills.
Yeah, and that's exactly what he will be doing. It was a bit preliminary to say that the round would end there, but I think, yeah, this should be it. I have to say, very well played by NAFU there. They managed... they were in such a disadvantage at the start of the round. Legacy was just dominating them in every way possible. Let's have a look. So Phage died twice. Yeah.
Dude, look at Thunder at 39-9.
Oh, yeah. And then compare that to Potato. See, this is why that transport heli is so important. I've said it so many times this round, but they had roof control the entire time, allowing Thunder to farm, and Potato wasn't able to do anything for his team basically because he was on constant pressure by those thralls on the roof. But regardless of that, considering everything, I think NAFU still managed to do a great job here.
Yes.
They were in a huge disadvantage. They didn't have roof control. They had a heli against them the entire round, and still they managed to get them down to 80 tickets, which is what they should have done and what they did.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you there on that one. And to be honest with you, I want to kind of go back to, well, you know what? We'll do that after the break. We're going to take a quick break here, guys. We'll be right back. It's going to be about 2 minutes or so. Not a huge one, that is for sure, as we'll get a drink of water, get you guys maybe revved up and ready for this last and final round. Maybe the players have a break as well. But we'll be right back with round number 2 of map 3, Legacy versus NAFU, in just a few short moments. All right, guys, we are back here for the last and final round of the evening, and we're going to be getting underway in just a few short moments. But Dalton, I do want to give you a huge shout out here for joining me on this adventure. It has been one heck of one, and definitely thank you to all of you viewers so far who has been able to stick around for this very, very long evening that we have had so far. We are on hour number 2, and we're going to be still seeing Legacy versus Nafu combating here to who is going to be able to get up into that grand final versus Imagine. And I gotta say, it has been one heck of a journey so far. Now, we did look at round number 1. It was going to go over into the favor of Legacy, but only by about 80 plus tickets or so. Not a whole lot than what it looked like it was initially going to be. You know, there was about 100, 125 ticket advantage there for quite a while, but Nafu started to get some kind of momentum underneath them. They started looking a lot better and able to kind of claw their way back into this ground. Now, one of the points that you had mentioned earlier, and I kind of wanted to revisit before the break, was the fact that Phasia had control of the skies the entire time. And we had mentioned how powerful that is, both in just, you know, collecting those stray infantry players that are trying to go around for these flanks, but also it allows you to have that pressure onto those rooftops. And I think one of the things that we haven't mentioned yet, when you're on those rooftops, your tanks are incredibly vulnerable if you don't own them. Straws will be coming at you for days. And it's just so annoying to have to deal with that. And Thunder was really, you know, he just had that freedom to be able to just move about wherever that he wanted to in that regard and not have to worry about kind of that incoming fire that we did over on the potato side.
Yeah, definitely. And we do see the teams going live for this last round. It has been a blast casting with you as well, Brett, for my second time. It's been a lot of fun. So we're going to head into the second round. We do see a tow coming out from Legacy onto the Nafu helicopter. And the Legacy helicopter does stay back a bit more as we were expecting him to do.
Well, this is already a better breakout than what we saw initially here for Nafu. They're going to be able to keep control of their helicopter. They do have bodies and people alive onto the B site itself. They are going to be able to get their back flag with no problem. So this is looking, I think, a lot better. We do see, it looks like Hio is going to be able to connect over here onto this C flag with his teammates. Can he actually maybe clean up a few of these players on top of the roofs eventually, or is he going to be transitioning, it looks like, over there towards that back flag? That will be interesting to see if it actually bears any fruit. He does get spotted out, though. Potato will be able to connect with that shot. That's going to be a huge one here for Nafu to come out to hopefully here an early lead to extend out this game.
Yeah, and now we see the opposite. The Nafu heli still being alive, being able to spot out those rotations. We do see Infernus driving around the transport heli, and it does get taken down eventually by Neo. That was a very interesting play. In the meantime, we do see Nafu gaining control of the middle flag with the help of Potato there. So that should be a 3-flag burn in the favor of Nafu at the moment. I'm hoping they will do a rotation onto Delta now, apply as much pressure as they can, because Legacy is on the Bravo objective as we speak.
Yes, they are. Infernus trying to connect, and he does! He gets him down with that straw, so that's going to be a huge kill there for them, and he's going to be able to pick up another one. Don Polo gets one right to the face. So now the tank possibly opening it up here for Legacy to jump on into the middle of the map, but we do have those roofs still in control for Nafu. And well, we do have Thunder saying having absolutely none of that. Is he going to go ahead push on through? And he does take quite a bit of damage, though. Wow, he's already down to 25 health.
Oh yeah,
he's got to get out of there.
This is looking very dear for him. I don't think there's anyone able to follow up with it. Maybe if Potato manages to get a push there, but we do see a lot of infantry of Nafu onto the Bravo objective. Currently, they're also rotating to Charlie, and with the help of Potato, that should be an easy cap for them. I do wonder if they will go for the follow-up on the tank. Potato going very aggressive onto the half of Legacy there. That is very interesting, and we do see a Legacy member dropping onto the Alpha objective on the roof again. Like I said last round, a very hard position to clear basically without your heli. It's practically impossible unless your tank can launch an incendiary up there, or you can get a nice frag up there.
Oh no, Potato has absolutely no infantry presence there to the middle of the map. He is going to have to get out of there quickly, and the Straw is taking him down. So that's going to be no armor No air whatsoever here for Nafu. What looked like a fantastic breakout from them is turning into a devastating play. They have managed to take care of the player setting up on top of that A site, so that does mean that their back flag is going to be secure for the time being, but this is a situation that they had to fight out from initially, and they didn't want to be here when it started out for this next round, but unfortunately, this is going to be the case. Now, we've talked about so far, you got to have your scout, or no, sorry, your transport chopper up. You got to be able to get some drops in coming in here for these back flags. Is it basically the same thing here, Dalton? I mean, are we watching just basically a rerun of round number 1?
I wouldn't say it's a rerun because currently the Nafu transport is up. He does get taken down by Thunder. Nice shot there. But both teams have managed to gain some control over the airspace. We do see a push from Legacy coming to the Alpha objective, but that gets taken down by Neo. I don't know. This looks like it's going in the favor of Legacy again. We do have a couple of members of Nafu still in the middle flags, trying to capture that Charlie objective. But with Thunder being up, this is going to be a very hard thing to do. We do see Nafu getting wiped off the Bravo objective, so Charlie is all they have to go for right now. We do see Thunder coming in there, probably completely destroying all the infantry there, which is exactly what he's doing. He got 2 kills, he gets 3, no he does not. Gets a 3rd, maybe a 4th, oh that Stroud gets a 4th, almost got Stroud there from behind. Very interesting plays here, but he just cleaned it up. Nafu did manage to capture the flag, and Legacy is on the back flag of Nafu. They're on Alpha right now, and they managed to take down Neo there.
Yeah, Nafu is absolutely scrambling at the moment, trying to do anything possible here to stay in this game, but Legacy is having absolutely none of it. As you said, we're seeing some players getting back onto this A site. 2 of the players from Nafu do end up going down. Potato is going to be coming on through. Maybe he can make some plays, and I love this. Something that Gravity and I were talking about before. Having those flares down is going to make it extremely hard for Potato to be able to spot out those players using those thermals. So putting them back over there towards that normal sight lines, it does make it a bit easier for these infantry players to kind of hide out in these buildings. But wow, that's going to be a tank shot right to the face on Infernus as he does follow out on that trail from the Sraw. But the damage is being done. We're just now going to be seeing A getting capped back 159 to 220 as only about, what, 70 tickets left here for Nafu to try and make this comeback happen.
Yep, this is not looking good for Nafu right now. They have to try to get another flag, but it's looking very, very poor for them. We do see them contesting Charlie right now, but they have to fight a tank and all of the infantry there. We do see Lego getting 2 nice kills there onto the Legacy infantry, but he's getting shot at by the tank now. We see 2 Legacy infantry going around the back. One is rotating to Alpha, one is going for domination area of the Charlie objective there.
Oh my God, Thunder here is still just lighting it up at the moment. He's just dominating on this side of the map. Now he is going to have to back on out. It looks like Potato possibly getting a slight edge on him as he didn't have any reps on him to heal up from those few straws that were coming his way. Does seem like Nafu will be able to get some pressure in onto this back flag. So we are going to be having a Thunder getting all the way into the back, but he's down to 7 health. 1 stray straw will be able to take him out, and he spots out an infantry player. There he goes. He is going to get taken down. That's 3 kills in a row now in the kill feed going into the favor of Nafu. Potato immediately takes the initiative. He's going to go over here to Delta, try and make sure they can burn this down as quickly as possible. And this could be a moment for a 4 cap.
Oh my, yeah, this is pure domination by Nafu right now. We do see the heli of Legacy still being up, which means they're not locked out of the map yet. But if they get to take that heli down, they wipe the middle, then this could be it for Nafu. They could manage to take it. But Nafu getting dangerously close to the amount of tickets that Legacy needs to win this. And that Potato gets taken down there by Thunder, which means Delta objective will go in favor of Legacy again. We do still see a 3 flag hold, but Legacy managing to get the middle control again. Probably going to capture Charlie and most likely will rotate to Bravo immediately as well.
So one of the things I would have liked to have seen there is Potato, as soon as that flag was grayed out, back out of there. Like, you don't have to have a 4 flag cap on this map in order to do the damage that they need to do. It's still relatively close, and they had tickets to work with. I would have liked to have seen him just get the gray, pull on back, leave your infantry there. If it does end up getting capped back over here from Legacy, it's not a huge loss. He would have been much better served over there towards the middle of the map, maybe get some reps in, help his infantry out, provide those spawn points. Not going to be the case, though. Maybe those small mistakes might come back to actually bite them here as an opportunity to come back into this game. We do see B flag getting completely grayed out. Nice job there from Neo to be able to trade on out. We are seeing those med kits starting to be a little bit more prevalent here as those revives for them. It's going to be crucial for them to actually stay up, stay alive. And well, Legacy, I think that they just have way too many tickets to play with. They have so much room to kind of just feel out their other team and just do whatever they want. They can make mistakes and it doesn't really matter. We see them now transitioning onto A. They're going to be able to get the grad on C, and they're looking over here onto a push for B potentially in just a few moments. But this is not looking up. Even though Nafu had that 4 cap potentially, it's still not looking up for him.
Yeah, they had the 4 cap, but they immediately got locked out of it again. The transport was still up from Legacy. Legacy had the roof control again, as they've had pretty much for the entirety of both rounds. So they didn't really take advantage of the opportunity they created. We do see Nafu getting in control of the middle flag again, but there is a big push of Legacy coming. And not enough members of Nafu to defend, basically. I think we only see 1 or 2 members on the middle flags right now, which is a huge misplay by Nafu.
These flags are just rotating too fast. They're just rotating way too fast. You know, Legacy, they can keep up this, you know, okay, you want to get the middle flag? Fine, we'll rotate out to A. Or you want A? Okay, cool. We'll go ahead and rotate over here to C. You want C? All right, cool. We'll go down here over to B. Like, they don't have to keep a 3 flag burn. They can just continue on this rotation. And as you see there, Thunder going 22-1, absolutely showing how much work he's been able to put in. Audacious Potato, though, coming around the backside, he's going to be able to get at least 1 shot into Thunder, but he's going to be taking quite a bit of damage himself. Any infantry players here to help out? It does look like both of them have been taken down, but the shots I think are going to be favoring Potato here in this fight, as APS is going to be popped for both tanks. No shots just yet. He is disabled, does have to bail on his tank as his infantry players, well, maybe, nope, not going to be able to take it. So that will be Thunder once again coming out on top in these tank battles.
Yeah, and I said it in my interview, Thunder hasn't played tank the entire season. He just came back, and man, am I loving seeing him play right now. He is just dominating like he was never before. I think the break that he took was needed, and it definitely plays out in favor for him here. And we do see Nafu coming very, very close to that 81 ticket mark. They have a room, like 25 tickets left to play with, and Legacy can just relax, rotate, try to drain them, and I don't think there is a lot that Nafu can do here right now. They're just getting overwhelmed by the tank and by Legacy's infantry.
No, there is not. This is pretty much going to have to be a perfect Battlefield game from here on out, played from Nafu in order to try and come back from this deficit. 20 tickets are left for these guys to make the play. Now, it's not impossible. It absolutely can happen, but with the way Legacy is playing right now, I highly doubt that. You do see Phasia now rotating back over here towards A with his teammates. Will be able to get the cleanup and start to get the gray out. We do also have B getting flash. So there is no infantry actually in the middle of the map. Thunder is going to be able to come back over here onto Delta, slow down this burn, possibly even clean it up. He can find this infantry player. This is a terrible position to be in. And Nafu, well, they're really struggling to just try and find a chink in the armor of Legacy.
Oh yeah, and as you were talking there, the entire scoreboard, like the kill feed, just lit up red. Basically, Legacy just completely, and it's happening again. Legacy is winning every single gunfight on every flag. I think this is it for Nafu. They tried their best, but in the end, Legacy is just, they're the stronger team right here. And I'm glad that they're winning because they deserve it. But I'm also sad that Nafu is losing here, and that is a GG right there. Nafu dropped below the 81 ticket mark.
So I really hate being that guy, right? But I'm going to be that guy. I really think that momentum that we saw coming in from map number 1, moving on into Paracel Storm, if Hulu didn't have those drops, I can totally see this going in a 2-0 favor for Nafu.
Yep.
Like, I think that just took all the wind out of their sails. that it's very frustrating to have to deal with. And, you know, momentum does play a part in these games. When you're able to chain in, because they were dominant there in that Siege of Shanghai map. That was really, really good map coming in from them. And when they came into Paracel Storm, you got to think that they were going to be able to just wrap this up in a nice tight bow. But Legacy, you know, yes, they kind of got gifted round 1, but then again, they had problems in round 2 as well. So it kind of was back and forth, but I really do think that Nafu needed to have a solid map 2. If those connections did stay, we're probably not talking about a map number 3, and they would have been able to walk away with this, joining Imagine in the grand finals, but not going to be the case. Legacy comes out on top, and they did a fantastic job here. Map number 3 was theirs all day long. Never a doubt in my mind. Once we saw, I would say probably around the 10-minute mark in round number 1, that I think that Legacy was going to be losing that map. They just looked absolutely fantastic. As you said, Thunder, another level, right?
Yep.
I mean, he was absolutely dominating the whole entire time, almost dropping 40 in round 1. I think he dropped 30 in round 2 there before we cut out. But he was absolutely just dominating around the map. And then, of course, Phasia providing that critical support in that transport chopper. Just absolutely fantastic plays coming out from them. So congrats once again to Legacy. They are going to be heading up into that grand finals with Imagine, which will be taking place, I believe, next weekend. I want to get a confirmation real quick from our production here. Yes, it is going to be happening next week. So definitely tune in then. But, you know, I don't think we're going to be having an interview tonight. I think we're going to be going ahead and closing it out. Real quick, Dalton, again, I want to thank you here for joining me, man. Do you have any words to say before we start closing this thing down?
Well, I want to say congratulations, Legacy. I'm actually glad to finally see them improve and managing to continue into a final game. In the past, we've only seen them end up 3rd, 4th. So I'm really happy for them that they're finally managing to take a 1st or a 2nd spot potentially. And I think next week's games are going to be phenomenal. I think it's going to be on another level. I really hope we get to see some maps that we haven't seen cast a lot, like Dawnbreaker, maybe a Hainen. I haven't seen that much either. So yeah, I'll be looking forward to those games. But once again, congratulations to Legacy.
All right. And I want to give a quick shout out right now here to production. Thank you guys so much for putting on a fantastic show. Honestly, like... you guys that are watching, I know you sit there and you go, wow, this is some really cool graphics, but there's so much more that goes on in the background. And they do a lot of prep work in regards to these matches. So definitely thank you to those guys. Obvious and Patty doing a fantastic job. And of course, again, thank you to all the other casters as well that you haven't seen. Dastro's been here. Gravity's been here. We've seen some really good stuff from those guys. And yeah, it's going to be a really, really good one. But that is going to be it. Congratulations once again to Legacy. They are going to be going up to that grand finals match versus Imagine. Make sure you guys do tune in next Sunday for that. Follow us down below. Follow us on our Twitter as well, as we will be letting you guys know when we are going live with that match. And I think we're going to have something a little bit special as well.
Oh, we're offline already.
Oh, well, it's all good.